Love it. So many things I want to talk about with you. I want to talk about the genius, talk about the new version of the genius. Let's have some fun. Okay, everybody must be watching their internet today. Version of the genius. Let's have some fun. Okay, everybody must be watching. All right. Very, very good. Okay, welcome everyone. So those of you who are with me on the live stream, do you want to have a scan? If you'd like to have a scan, go ahead and put your date of birth into the chat area and we're going to scan you. I'm going to just talk a little bit about the genius in general and how it all works. But if you'd like to have a scan, please put it in the chat. And a few things, we're going to be having a Black Friday sale on libraries. So you may already see that in your email. Check your most recent email for all of our specials, and our specials on our packages are already up on the website. I'm going to show that in just one moment. So warm welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of our Genius live stream for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I am very grateful for our community, extremely grateful for our community, because our community is just an amazing tribe of dedicated people, so dedicated to helping their family, to helping their loved ones, to helping their community, to helping their clients. You don't see this type of dedication every single day. And we could really see that in the 3 days of the summit. If you have not seen the summit, you can go to geniusbiofeedback.com and look on the blog. So I'm going to show that in just a moment here. You can look at our blog, and when you see our blog, you'll be able to see all 3 days of our summit. It's also on our YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and just switch over here and we can look at the website. The website to get in contact with us is geniusbiofeedback.com. And if we go to the Learn menu here and we go to our blog, we can see that, I do need a thumbnail for this. We can see that all of the stories of transformation are right here and ready for you to check these out and watch them. So go to geniusbiofeedback.com, go to the blog, and you can watch all 3 days of our summit. All right. All right, Dawn, we're going to get to you in just a little bit. Thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it very much. I want to talk to every person who's here. Everybody may be stopping by. Maybe you're watching us on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. And need a couple of things that didn't come with me at the start here. Oh, I can use my computer. Okay, awesome. It's got a lot of things to show you and work with you. Okay, so those who don't know me, my name is Ariel. Full name is Ariel Policano. I'm a naturopathic doctor and been a naturopathic doctor for a long time. That means I went to an actual medical college in Oregon and I had to go through all these rotations and learn everything a medical doctor learns, but also everything that an herbalist would know, everything that a homeopath would know, everything that a chiropractor would know, a lot of things from Chinese medicine, nutrition, everything a nutritionist would know, everything a physical therapist would know. It's sort of 6 years of study rolled up into 4 years of very intense study, 40 hours of study a week. And then we would have tests and time to study after our coursework of 40 hours a week. It was very, very intense. Anyone who's been through that rigor of naturopathic college, I greatly admire them. But we come out of it with an incredible amount of knowledge. And it was always my goal to take this knowledge and to give it to other people. It was never enough for me to just sit around and mysteriously see what we got here. There we go. Okay, and sort of say to people, this is what you need to do. This is the pill that you need to take. It was always my goal to empower people, to let people know that there is so much more that they could be doing to help themselves. And it isn't enough for me to say, hey, you can do this, that, or the other thing. I always wanted to give someone the ability to help themselves. So when I got out of naturopathic college, I gave detox programs. And during the detox program, we took all about the diet that was the best diet for them after the detox. And the detox was like an entree into them taking better care of themselves. Then I discovered through my Chinese medicine mentor, he said to everybody, especially if you're not an acupuncturist or you're not, don't know pulse and tongue diagnosis, you should have some bioenergetic instrument to be able to test people. He said it was necessary that every naturopath, every healer should have one of these instruments. And so after I graduated, I searched around, should it be electroacupuncture, which is the holding the little rods, the brass rods? Should it be some other type of testing? Some of them were $20,000 or $30,000. Which one should it be? So I actually originally came across the Life System. I thought it was amazing. I ended up selling it, traveling. And when I came back, I didn't know if that was the expensive machine that was for me. I wasn't sure. I looked around. I discovered something that was much lower in price. But when I tested it out on the 14 days, it was incredible. It was so very powerful. And it was something that I could use on my iPad. And I thought that was really, really cool. So in something like mid 2012, I acquired the Genius, or it was the Infinity, which is now the Genius. And I started using it in my practice. And I was blown away because what I could test was exactly what was coming up for my patients. And it was amazing, the accuracy of this. I could never say it was a lab test. I'd always have to rise up to standard of care and do lab tests where they were necessary, but it gave me a rich, deeper look into what the person was experiencing. And so since this was a brand new company, it was a brand new product, I got to connect with Ryan Williams and said, hey, could I give courses in natural health that would help people to understand the results that they were seeing? And Ryan, being very, open to new ideas, said, go for it. If you want to put your hand up and say, hey, I've got these classes and I want to give them, then go right ahead. And it was just a great marriage of the biofeedback and the natural health coming together. And people have really enjoyed seeing and understanding the results in terms of health for themselves and things that they could explain to other people. So that's how I got to do what I do. And I love it because when you're a healer, you always want to understand the person who's in front of you. And it's very difficult to understand someone, even with a deep, rich health degree, in the time that you're meeting with them with just your conscious mind. And so we need tools that help us to dig into, to peer deeper into what's going on. And even for the layperson, even for you at home, it's really important that you have a tool. I'm sure you contemplate many times, well, maybe I should get my blood work done, or maybe I should go see a doctor, or maybe I should find out what's going on with me. Maybe I should just have a wellness check. But there's no easy wellness check for really what you're looking for. They'll run maybe a $300 food allergy test, and then they'll run a $200 blood test, and maybe only a little bit of it's covered by insurance. And then they'll run a $500 heavy metal test, and it goes on and on and on. And so if you could just test yourself on a regular basis and then see your natural health practitioner every 6 months just to check in, get their professional opinion, or maybe every quarter, then this would be a much better way of helping yourself. And the Genius and Quantum Biofeedback tools give us that ability, even though we can't say it rises to the level of a lab test, but even lab tests are not completely accurate. And they can change with what time they're given or how the person is, where they are in their cycle, hormones. So we want to really take a combination of different pieces of information. With the Genius, you're able to test yourself and learn about yourself on a daily basis. You're able to then take whatever is coming up, whether it be 80% true, 100% true, you're able to take that information, and then you are able to press one button and start to balance yourself, start to bring yourself back into harmony. You take your wellness, your health back into your own hands. It's so important. It's really hard to meet with people in consultation as a doctor and hear them. They're so helpless. I've been struggling for so long. I don't know what to do. Nothing works. And there's this like, sort of, they feel like a victim. They feel like they can't do anything for themselves. It has to be done to them. It has to be done for them. And I feel like this whole movement of quantum biofeedback is to give people back their autonomy in taking care of their health. I don't believe that health has to be that difficult, that expensive. It should be accessible to all. And Ryan, the developer of the Genius, also had that level of integrity and also that vision of equalizing it in terms of accessibility. Yes, our programs start at $1,000, they go up and to several $1,000s, but you have to understand that a quantum biofeedback tool, the conversation used to start at $12,000, $15,000, and still it goes up all the way to $30,000. And Ryan has maintained that, pretty much the whole time. And that is actually a rare level of integrity for any business. And even in the quantum biofeedback business, even though we have bumps in the road and it seems frustrating, he has a level of transparency and accessibility, which is extremely rare. And you have to understand that. I think that's why even the vibration of the Genius is very clean and clear. And it's also very allowing. You guys, this is really, really important. It doesn't dictate to you what you have to do. It doesn't dictate to you what you have to run. See if there's people watching on YouTube. Hey, YouTube, thank you so much. And I'm also going to be in the chat on YouTube. So welcome to all of our folks watching on YouTube. Welcome and happy Thanksgiving. All right. So you can also chat. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. So the energy from the Genius is very, very special. I believe that's why it's so accurate. I believe that's why even the frequencies, as we generate the frequencies, they're really powerful. And you watch the last 3 days where we did the summit, every single person is having amazing results, miraculous results, transformational results. It is incredible, the results that people are getting with the Genius. And it's a combination of their skill and also the energy of the Genius. It's better ability to analyze and know the person, to understand what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're communicating through the voice, and also just really matching them with the frequency, seeing the frequency, seeing what's going on with them, getting the right frequency for them. So it's a very, very special program. It's a program that we hope will be widely adopted throughout the world as we go into 2023 and 2024. I hope it will continue to grow and people will continue to know about it. You will share it with other people. It's such an important technology for everyone to be able to have and utilize for their family. We should be able to get this to each and every person. It's incredibly important. So I want to say a few things about the new version, and don't worry, Dawn, if you're going to stick with us, we are going to get to we're going to get to some scans as well. So thank you so much for being here. So in 2016, we came out with the first version of the Genius. It's, so important. And we're, very, very thrilled to share this information with you as it stands today. But in 2016 came out, it was a rudimentary program, and Ryan has continued to update it each and every time. He's continued to update it and update it and update it. And you don't have to pay for that update. It's actually totally included in your, in what you're doing. It's a very, very exciting, it's an amazing program in that way. And you get every single update, which is amazing. So what's happened in the last 6 months, or what's happened really in the last 6 weeks, is the Genius has had a few bugs here and there, but I want to let you know that we're just about past those bugs. And we really have, now we have this incredible program at our fingertips that we've never had before. It's amazing to think, it took a little while to sort of the dust to settle and to see that we have something so wonderful, so amazing, that you're going to be able to utilize. And I want to really call out once again some of the most amazing things about this new program that you will absolutely love. So I think Dawn will bring you into the mix here and do your scan so that we can call out, some of the most amazing features that, we have. And thank you everybody for joining us for Thanksgiving. If you're preparing your food, if you're on the, the live stream, thank you so much. We're really, really excited. And thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate you so very much. And thank you for, being with us. Thank you for being part of the mix. We really, really appreciate you being with us and being part of our Genius Biofeedback community. All right, so Dawn, let's have you join us here. All right, Dawn, we're going to bring you up as a panelist, and thank you everybody who was part of the Genius Summit. And if you were part of it and you were a volunteer or you got a scan, thank you so much. We really, really greatly appreciate you. All right, Dawn, wonderful, great to have you here. So
hello.
Go ahead and, hi Dawn, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Good. Where are you joining us from today?
A place called Elko, BC, Canada.
Right, up in Canada. So you're not, so it's not Thanksgiving today?
Not for us. No, it was in October.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, Dawn, I know you just got your program, and I want to tell you, I really appreciate you, and thank you for being part of our Genius Biofeedback community. Thank you so very much.
Yes, it's, I got the update yesterday and got the original, like when I started off, it was actually on the 3rd of November. So I've moved quite quickly. I love this. I can't say enough about it.
That's lovely. That's so wonderful. Well, in just a moment, I'm going to capture your voice and we can talk more all about the new version, what it means, what it can bring to you, what it can do for you. So I'm super excited to be able to bring that to you and assist you. So let's go ahead and let's get your voice first. So let me get your information in here quickly. All right, so we got that there. I'm going to do a new analysis and get everything set up. So you know how to do this. We're going to record your voice. So in just a moment, I'm going to be holding this up and recording your voice like this. And you know what to do. You say your name and the AEIOU. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, and I'll record you in 3, 2, 1. I'm recording.
My name is Dawn, AEIOU, 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 AEIOU.
Perfect. You got it. I like that you're very wonderfully consistent. Well, it's a very interesting splay there of all of the different things. Oh, I guess I'm actually broadcasting it here. Let's see if it, let me take it offline for, oh no, I'm not broadcasting it on the screen. Okay, got it. Okay, let me just make sure I can do this here. All right, it's analyzing the voice. Fantastic. All right, we're almost done with that. And then we're going to get your picture on here so we can start our analysis on the new version. So if anybody, has not updated to the new version, now is a good time because really the majority of the bugs have been completely taken care of at this point. So that's exciting. And let's go ahead and take the picture here. So smile. There we go. We gotcha. Fantastic. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and analyze that picture. Bring this back here. Okay. So welcome everyone. If you're joining us on the live stream, you can get a scan today. Also, I want to know your questions. You know, this is a chill day. This is a day we have some time to just kick back. We could talk about anything. We're going to talk about some of the most popular libraries. If you just got libraries on our Black Friday special, and we do have a special coupon code for you. So if you want to get some libraries today, we're going to give you early access to them. So I'm going to put a code into the chat. If you want to use our code for the libraries, then we have a code for you. It's going to be at checkout. Just use BF40, and that is a 40% discount on the libraries. So 40% discount on any library site-wide. We're going to give you early access to that. That's our Black Friday special, just BF, sort of like Black Friday or best friend. And then 40, which is 40% off. And we're going to put that into the YouTube chat as well. If anybody's in the YouTube chat, you can get early access to our Black Friday libraries on the website for BF40 at checkout. All right, thanks so much for everybody who's joining us. Really appreciate it. Hope you're preparing your wonderful dinner for this evening. And we're going to do a really fun scan, talk about the new features. So I'm really excited to do that. And we're going to get rolling on that in just a moment. All right. Got to do a little bit of business over here. So Dawn, I'm going to let you, now that we got your voice and your picture, I'm going to let you sit back and relax. And I'm going to come back in just a moment and start working on your scan. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I got to do a little bit of business because I want to see if there's a new version that I can tap into, because I'm still getting a little tiny bit of issues that I need to deal with. So if you're joining us, thank you so much for joining us. I'm talking a little bit about how much and how important the genius is in the time that we're living in. You guys, we're living in kind of serious times. I'm not an alarmist. I don't like to come out of fear. I'm an optimist, but I actually believe that God has given us the genius during this time for a very important reason, so that it can really help us to know the truth, discover the truth. And there's so many different things that can be revealed by the genius. And whatever can be discovered can be harmonized. Whatever can be discovered on your genius can be harmonized. That's very, very important. The genius works through a power of entrainment. I explained all of this in my energy medicine course. You can go to geniusbiofeedback.com and go ahead and go to the energy medicine, look for the energy medicine course at geniusbiofeedback.com. And I explained all about entrainment. Whatever we're around, you see, every single part of us is a receiver. We are wave energy more than we are particle, and especially at the DNA level. Our DNA is an antenna, and so it is listening for all types of signals, the most subtle signals it can hear and respond to. And it does this when, let's say, we play some wonderful, calming, soothing music, and all of a sudden, in the core of our being, we feel calmed and soothed. We have entrained that music, the frequency of that music, into our being. And so it is with the genius. When we listen to the tones of the genius, when we're close to the genius and we're picking up the tones, then we are receiving all of the wonderful energy. We're drinking it in like a beverage. We are receiving the energy of the genius. It is an amazing experience. We are extremely fortunate. And so you can use, let's just take 528 hertz. So 528 hertz. Now, I want you to go later on to the very first day of the summit. You know, Ryan we talk about the technology of the genius. It is very unique. Okay, you can go to any of the competitors, whether they be mobile applications or whether they be big box systems. You are not going to find anything even close to the genius. This is extremely important to understand, because Ryan has taken some of the masters of these biofeedback programs, and he's learned from them and put that coding into the Genius. For example, 528 hertz. That is a solfeggio tone. It is an amazing solfeggio tone. It's 528. A hertz means 1 wave per second. There's something about the number 528. So 528 waves per second. There's 528 waves or hertz per second. And in that wave, something about that number of waves is very healing. It's transformational. It can change things at a fundamental level. It creates miracles. So with this in mind, in addition to the actual solfeggio, the Genius plays the harmonics. I think Ryan said 6 harmonics in addition to the Genius tone itself. So it's a very, very interesting experience of playing 528 on the Genius. Is not the same as, say, playing a video on YouTube or just playing with a Rife generator, 528 hertz. So this is really, really important information to know that you have such an advantage with the Genius. So it's very unique. So when people say, hey, I get amazing results, or our practitioners get amazing results with clients, it's because there's nothing like this. This is very different. And it's different in a way that is transformational. Go ahead and study the power of harmonics. If you play a Rife frequency for Cancer or for Lyme, let's just say Lyme to be more politically correct on our good old YT here. If you play it for Lyme, 1 frequency, you'll have a certain result. But if you play that frequency and then all the harmonics of the frequency, you will have an exponentially improved result. And so the harmonics that are played with the Genius with every single frequency sort of amp it up or make it that much more effective, because it's like, think if you have 1 note that you listen to for a song is playing or the piano is playing or whatever it might be. Now think about what happens when you add in the rich harmonics that you hear, right? Or the harmony of the voices. It creates a totally different experience. And so that's what we're having with the Genius. I think that's why you can have such a profound experience in such a short amount of time. So it truly is something different under the sun. It also plays, like I said, it plays these really rich frequencies that affect our body in a certain way. And it seems to, with these different harmonics, affect it in a very positive way. The goal of quantum biofeedback is to bring the body into coherence. You can read about coherence through the information from the HeartMath Institute. The HeartMath Institute writes all about coherence, bringing our frequency, bringing us back to a home frequency. Okay, this looks so much better. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so now we've got good information here to work with for my friend Dawn. So I'm so grateful for that. So we're going to get this up and running and show this on screen. This is a time that we're moving into a place of frequency and light. When you have the Genius, okay, it doesn't matter if they ban supplements. It doesn't matter if they ban herbs. It doesn't matter if you're moving from one country to another, one place to another. You're on the move for whatever reason. You're trying to help maybe 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people that need your help. The thing is, because we're moving into this place of frequency and light, everything can be utilized on your Genius. That means 1,000 or 10,000, or we have 1,200 libraries. We have 1,227 libraries now on our Genius, the ones that I authored as a doctor. We have 1,227. If you want all of them, you can upgrade to our Master Elite Plus. It's just the difference between the package that you originally got and the package that you want, like Master Elite Plus. We actually have, if you go to the website, geniusbiofeedback.com, read about Master Elite Plus, where we have $1,000 discount special for Black Friday. So if you'd like to upgrade and get in touch with me about how to upgrade, get all those, what 1,200 libraries means that you're going to have over 60,000 1,000 items in your general overview to test. And we're going to test Dawn right now. So let's see if I can get a spotlight here to show you in the Zoom what we're going to be doing. So welcome everyone, a very happy Thanksgiving, and thank you on YouTube. People who are on YouTube, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you so much for people who are on the Zoom. Thank you and a warm welcome. Thank you if you hung out with us for the summit. We really, really appreciate you so very, very much. So let's go ahead and see if we can look at, this thing is confounding. The bar goes right into the genius. Okay, we get rid of that from the Zoom. Okay, so we're going to, that's not what we want to do. We want to actually go to the library right here. And we want to, no, not the library. Want to go to, we're going to tap one time on the system overview, and we're going to go through the general overview. Obviously, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite features that we have. Let's pray that this actually will work correctly, because I really want to show it. All right. First thing for Dawn. So you have to understand that one of the greatest gifts that you can ever have with a quantum biofeedback program is where they test the entire matrix at one time. The reason is it's going to sift and sort through an entire body system, through an entire mental system, through an entire emotional system in order to find the top issues that you need to know about today. So because it's going through all of that information, it's more likely for you to find the very relevant, what's the most relevant out of all of these. And that is super, super exciting to see. So let's go ahead and look at this. The first one says, complete body tune-up. My stomach is properly regulated and properly functioning, the D cells and the release of somatostatin. So these are important hormones that need to be released in order for digestion to take place. So there might be an issue with digestion. Dawn, you can let us know in the chat if there is. Where can I find day one of the summit? Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate the question. Go to the blog post that we just did. So we just posted this, and I'm going to post it again. So we have all of them. They're actually on my YouTube channel, but they're under the live category, and I don't know why YouTube hides them. But here you go. If you just go ahead to that link right there, I just did the wrong return. It's got to do it here. Okay. So just click on that and you're going to see the blog post. The blog post has all 3 days. Okay. I prepared that for people like yourself. I do might have a hard time finding it. So right on the blog post, check it out. All right. Then kidney 6X. This is an imprinted. So we took the apex energetic organ isodes, and we went, hey, Karen, thank you so much for joining. It's so nice to have you. Great to have you join and hang out with us. Thank you very, very much. Give me a little time to get rolling here. I'll invite you to come on in a little bit. I just want to wake up and get some basics taken care of here. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. All right. And Arthur Andrews, serratia, and that is a proteolytic enzyme. And that proteolytic enzyme can help with excess metabolic buildup. So the Arthur Andrews serratia can really help as a cleanup. If you have any inflammation in the body, I think anybody, what we should, let's just call it the J. You guys know what the J is. I think maybe that'll be the secret. I'm sure nobody will ever figure out who's watching this what the J is. They're going to be filled with massive amounts of inflammation. But inflammation has always been the bane of everyone to be careful of. So you build up inflammation from when you don't digest your food sufficiently. You can build up inflammation from radiation, which is something that Karen McDonald's always reminding us how important it is to avoid that and get grounded. So EMFs can build up inflammation. Food allergies can build up inflammation. Toxins can build up inflammation. Definitely eating, unfortunately, like meat food, lots of meat, eating too much meat, let's say, eating too much fish or too much chicken. And don't think that fish and chicken are low-fat versions of red meat. They are not. I just cooked some chicken for my dogs. I do not eat meat. Been a vegan for many, many years. I cook like once a year. That's like their turkey for the year, or it's not more than once a year, but I haven't done it in a long time. So anyway, I cooked it for them. And just look at this chicken fat. There's so much chicken fat that comes out. There's no way this could be thought of as a low-fat food. That's just silly. Okay, clear reflux. So this is the stomach acid balancing activation program. By the way, if you got libraries today, and you can use the code BF40 at checkout, BF40. This is not, and I'm not implying that Dawn has had the J whatsoever. I'm just talking about inflammation in general and how we may have to help people in the future. So I wasn't implying that you did. I didn't really think that you did at all. In fact, I think most of our tribe has not, praise God. So you can use BF40 if you want to get some libraries over. This is actually early access. We haven't really officially announced it yet. So if you want to use that code, you can get 40%. If you're a Library Discount Club member, we have a very special code for you. So check your email to see what is going on there. You get an additional discount being part of our Library Discount Club. If you still want to get that extra special discount, go to geniusbiofeedback.com and go to the memberships. Join our Library Discount Club. You're welcome to just join it for a month. You can cancel at any time. We do want you to have access to the big discount, 40% off the libraries just for Black Friday. We're giving you who are coming to our live stream here, watching on YouTube, you can get it with the BF40. I think of it as best friend or Black Friday 40 and get those libraries. So now it says clear reflux, 230 hertz, 620 hertz, 970 hertz. So you can clear reflux. Isn't that interesting? Just look at the very top. This is all about inflammation and digestive issues. So that's really cool. And then look at the solar plexus. So the solar plexus would also be about digestive issues. Like that's, really, really cool. Spearmint could be an excellent essential oil to calm the digestive system, to clear inflammation. But again, you don't have to have the J in order to have inflammation. So I was just watching a video. And we'll be sharing a lot more videos. In fact, I know Karen's hanging out with us, but she's going to be not tonight, but next week, we're going to be back on the podcast. And I'm going to really do a download of the Stu Peters documentary. Go to stupeters.com. We'll put it on here. I'm sure you've already watched it. Go to stupeters.com and please watch his new documentary about what's happening to people who, got the, I don't know, can we do it like this? The J, right? The J, who got the J. And also, when they did that J, they actually put, we'll call them SPs, they put 40 trillion SPs. And I just watched a video that said the necessary amount for an immune response for polio was 80 of the polio antigens. And in this particular thing, they're putting 40, so that's not 80, that's 40 trillion, which is 40,000 billion of these SPs into people. I don't know, it just boggles my mind. I can't really take it in, but we're going to talk about that more with Karen for sure on our Rumble channel a week from this Thursday at 6:30. So you can go to geniusbiofeedback.com and sign up for our podcast where we get to talk about just about anything and everything that you want to talk about with us. So thank you, Karen, for doing the trailer. And yeah, it's totally streaming now. Hopefully you've seen it. And it's just free to stream it at stupeters.com. It's an amazing gift. I hear that it's been shared and watched over 5 million times, and it's only been out for 3 days. So it just tells you how thirsty people are for that information. Okay, solar plexus. The solar plexus is that third chakra. It has to do with that middle part of the body about claiming and being in our power, but also it has to do with all the digestive organs. So then we've got the energy and frequency of money. So that's wonderful from our money magnetizing program, and 639 hertz being more about communication. And then hemorrhoid solutions. Butcher's broom is a great herb for hemorrhoid, for helping the veins to be stronger, as is a wonderful herb called Aesculus hippocastinatum, which is horse chestnut. So that's another one. Innovation, being more innovative, liver function, and there's hemorrhoid healing again. So maybe that's an issue now, or was it an issue in the past? More hydration. All right, we've got some dog healing. There's things that will probably override. We don't look at everything. The frequency of the color red, coral red. Valor. I love valor. Let's see what it says. Valor 2 on the physical body point for clearing the emotion of losing a battle. That's really interesting. We probably all feel the energy of like we're losing a battle right now. Even though we're not going to lose, we're going to win. We're going to win. Okay, Ryan has added a new button to the R screen in today's update. Okay, that's great. So he's added that toggle switch. Good for him. I'm glad he did that because he's going to get his people will be really happy. I just want to say with Valor, a lot of people love Young Living oils, and I do think that they're amazing, but particularly Valor is one of the ones that stands out to me. Like when you put Valor on, you feel it, and you really do feel like your courage has been propped up. You really do feel like you're wearing like an armor that gives you protection, also gives you the ability to do things. So something about that combination is really unique. And Karen says, Valor 48 hertz is for the physical as well. Something for 48 hertz. Okay, you can maybe program it as 48 hertz. Pancreatic exhaustion. So the thing about the pancreas is that the pancreas produces enzymes that help us to digest our food. We have digestive enzymes, then we also have metabolic enzymes in the body. All the metabolic enzymes in the body help chemical reactions to happen, detoxification, assimilation, and cleaning up in the body, helping the body to be well. And then we have the pancreatic enzymes. So the pancreatic enzymes are used up when we consume mostly cooked food, because the cooked food has to be digested and then assimilated. So over time, like as we get to 40 years of age, 50 years of age, because we eat a lot of cooked processed food, God only knows GMO food, we can really get a pancreatic exhaustion, which means the pancreas is just having trouble keeping up with the production of enzymes. So in that particular case where we have trouble keeping up with the production of enzymes, we could put a drag on the metabolic enzymes. So the metabolic enzymes could be used up to try to make up for the deficiency or the lack of the pancreatic enzymes. So therefore, that brings in the concept of supplementing. So it's a good idea to find a good digestive enzyme. I like Premier Research Digest. Super simple, very effective, high quality. So it's a full spectrum digestive enzyme. Any company that you like that can give you a good digestive enzyme, go ahead, get it, and start taking it 15 minutes before each meal. That would be good to supplement. So we see pancreatic exhaustion. You can also use frequency for this, but again, we just want to raise our awareness. This is a lot of information to raise the energy of the person. So even before we run one frequency, we are getting, this is called encoded information. Information transforms us. Think about all the things that you've learned that were pivotal for you, that changed your life, some piece of information, knowledge. All of this is important information. And as you take in this information for yourself, as you test yourself or somebody tests you, it is transformational before you even run the first frequency. It is transformational before you even run the very first frequency. So it's really amazing, very, very powerful, incredible to utilize this and have this much information to be able to analyze at one time. So Cardinorma from Picana, I think that's a cardio remedy. Type 3 collagen, so building up the collagen for strengthening the bones. Vision improvement program, the optic nerve, so strengthening the optic nerve with 528 hertz for transformation and miracles. The thing about this is that your body is multifactorial. It's super, like your body is doing all of these things at one time. That right there, you just know God exists, because it really boggles the mind. Like, just think about it. Like, you're here, your liver is working, your pancreas is it's putting out the enzymes, your eyes are seeing, the optic nerve is working, your liver is detoxifying, your kidneys are deciding which minerals you need and which ones need to be eliminated. Your heart is beating perfectly at the perfect time. All these things are happening in a symphony at the perfect rhythms in your body, and you're not even thinking about them. They're all happening. And so the genius can pick up on this multifactorial nature of the body and give you tons and tons of information. You have forgotten about all of these things. You weren't even focusing on them. You don't even think there's something going on with your vision, but the genius knows. Let's help to create wellness in Dawn's vision. So let's prop up the optic nerve with 528 hertz. And just by putting them in the tray and running the energy, you can derive the benefit. And Karen has put an excellent book in there. She's my favorite new book, Valor and a DIY Recipe. So check out that book that she has linked there. That sounds awesome. Okay, so then she has a sort of a limiting belief that's coming up. My progress in this life is limited, but I don't believe it. So I'm going to use this frequency to delete, destroy, and release it. Renin capsules, epithelial lining. So there's some kidney stuff coming up here. The epicardium for blood pressure, for heart wellness. So we see some shades of heart wellness. Creativity, unleashing infinite creativity and flow. What you see here is actually the library name that you'll see at geniusbiofeedback.com. I am completely in the flow state now. Clear insomnia. Let's go down to the bottom. In order to go down to the bottom, we are going to utilize our spotlight here. General overview. We're going to tap it one time. And when we tap it one time, it's going to reveal to us, if it works, all of the lowest items. So the lowest items now starts with 10. I still don't think it's analyzing completely properly here. We'll have to report that to Ryan, but we'll go with it for what we see here. At least we know the order. So it tells us urinary bladder 60, albumin on the chemistry panel. Not sure about that one. There's some toxins, dichloroethane to be cleared. Might be something we breathed in, may not even know what it is. Throat chakra. So that's interesting that the throat chakra is that low. So you may want to look on YouTube for some toning, for some chanting, something you could do to sort of enhance that throat chakra energy. What could you sing something, singing sacred sounds, maybe just Om, something like that. Or if you have a particular spirituality and they have some type of a prayer, even speaking it. I'm reading a book on sound that clearly states that when you speak something, it is so much more profound for you than when you just think it. The power of you speaking something really can bring it into existence, but it can really, like, even just chanting something that maybe is a prayer or something spiritual, even just think about the word Om. As you chant Om, you not only change yourself, your being, your cells, it could be an affirmation as well. You change everything around you, because also you are the genius. So just by the power of your voice, your sounds, you are also causing everything around you to entrain with what you're speaking or singing or chanting. So you can change your whole home, you can change your whole, everything around you by becoming aware of that and acting into it. So, for example, we do it sometimes unconsciously. So maybe in the earlier part of our life or something with the parents, like when people yell at us or they say derogatory things or they speak negatively, they fill the whole place. They fill the whole home, the whole environment with that. They fill you with that. They change you at some fundamental level. But now we have a chance to switch it back to something much, much more profound. So this tells us throat chakra, trapezius, release and relax. Unda number 228, that's for the nervous system. There are some interesting toxins coming up here, dichloroethane and dichloromethane. So I wonder if you possibly were exposed to toxins, Dawn, at some point, if you had any type of environmental exposure. The body ecology diet. I skipped a few here. That's interesting. Look up the body ecology diet by Donna. It's not Donna Eden. It's the other Donna, and I forget her last name. So I probably, you will know that, Karen. So the body ecology diet is a great book to understand the power to change your gut with the microbiome. Okay, so I have blue nails. You mean that you have some, are you saying you have some blue, like so almost like a purpura or a blue color in the nails? That's anemia. It could be anemia or it could be related to circulation. Streptococcus pyogenes, turmeric root, Kubera energy. So something about unleashing infinite flow and creativity and infinite abundance. You're working or leaning into that. Arsenic on the sacral one disc, the stylohyoid, the liver energy. I released the imprinted trauma of not being able to speak out. That actually matches something that we saw previously about not being able to speak, and also matches the energy that we're seeing with the throat chakra. You guys, if you really look at these, you're going to find so much accuracy and so many gems in here by looking at this general overview that you could quickly understand this person that you're working with. Like, it's kind of amazing. Like, this general overview in a way is a big part of the enchilada to the how good this update really is once we've gotten past the bugs. Balance the auditory function. You know, as we age, I'm going to need a cough drop, I think. Hang on one second. As we age, just going to turn the video off for 1 second here. As we age, both the eyes and the optic nerve and the ears, the auditory nerve, can be severely affected. And also, the auditory nerve is connected to the kidneys. Not the auditory nerve, but the energetics of hearing. In Chinese medicine, hearing itself is connected to the health of the kidneys. So and everything is about circulation. Everything is about circulation. We're going to, as we get into the more immune supportive things, we're going to be talking more about the essence of wellness, what wellness really means. And the essence of wellness is good circulation. And I want you to become more meticulous. Thank you so much, Donna Gates. I could not remember, but Donna Gates wrote the Body Ecology Diet. Thinking about your circulation. Think about everything that you consume. If you consume a lot of fats, I know it sounds like I'm always getting on the meats here, but I want to save you. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be happy. Both now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I want you to be happy and healthy. I don't want you to be impaired in any way. I don't want you to be disabled in any way. So I want you to really, check out my course, High Vibe Nutrition, where I talk all about this. So when you eat meat, eggs, whether it be red meat, chicken, fish, oil, free oil, olive oil, any type of oil, what you're doing is you're going to compromise the vessels. Just think about the diet of humanity over time. Fat was in very small supply. People couldn't get a lot of avocados. They weren't available year round. People couldn't get a lot of coconuts, or it's so hard you couldn't open it. Even nuts are contained within a hard shell. Why? It wasn't meant for us to eat, 50 walnuts at one sitting, or walnut oil. None of these things were meant really for the body. Really doesn't have the capacity to take these on in a meaningful way. And really, we don't need them for survival. We need a tiny bit of fat. There's books out there that call the 80-10-10 diet that says that humans run best on glucose, 80% carbohydrate, 10% fat, 10% protein. That's not what we were taught, right? In the food pyramid. I was really thinking about this morning, that so much of getting healthy, and Karen, you're going to like this, is really deprogramming. Like, you need to debug the person and deprogram them from all of the stuff that was glommed onto them as a child when you were growing up, thinking about all these things to be healthy. And because I think about all the years it took me to arrive at where I am today, constantly trying to get the information, change my habits, work through this till I come to a really good place. And it's just deprogramming, especially the protein thing. I mean, it's like, sometimes I think they're just thinking, how do we get these folks as sick as possible, get them to die off as young as possible? And let's make sure that they eat lots of chicken and eggs and fat and olive oil and all of these things. It's probably not like that. I'm sure it's purely accidental. So these things really impair, they strip away at the healthy endothelium of the vessels. They also compromise our ability to produce nitric oxide to circulate and have flow throughout the body. So you want to sort of maybe even meditate and turn inward and concentrate and look like, what do I need to do to heal my endothelium, to heal my circulatory system? And we even did a library on this called Circulation Transformation. It's about the endothelial repaving program, Circulation Transformation. And you can get that library at the 40% off at Black Friday 40, BF 40 at checkout. And if you got some libraries today, bring the libraries that you got. If you get some libraries, if you go onto my website and get some libraries, come and ask about the library, and I'll demonstrate that library. So restore healthy colon function. So we saw things about hemorrhoids before. We don't need to know if they're true or not, but they're starting to show a pattern about, okay, we have to deal with the large intestine, with the gut. Diphtheria. Now it says feline conditions, but it could be the effect of an inoculation, right? A lot of people got DTP, which is diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. So it could be as an inoculation, or could be that something that they had. Regeneration of the arterial microcirculation. So there you go. That is exactly what we were working on. This is actually a phytogen. And we have a phytogen library, which is a really amazing library. It comes with a really comprehensive guide that I did about the phytogens because they're so important. Let me talk a little bit about phytogens. We haven't talked about them in a really long time. And we'll just also have the website up here. Phytogens are the seedlings or the sprouts of plants, and they contain all the germination, all of the life force, all of the enzyme, all of the, now listen to this one, the growth factors that you need or think about stem cells. So they're like the stem cells from plants that can help you to change. And we don't talk about the phytogens enough. This is a great library, the phytogen library, that has an amazing guide that comes with it that helps you to understand all the phytogens. And you may even want to look at the phytogens for something that you may want to do for yourself, like the actual phytogens. So you can see on here, they have things like a black alder bud, algen, giant sequoia, that's great for adrenals. Surgen is powerful for circulation. It's just a tiny bit of medicine from the phytogens can make a big difference because it's the buds, the potential of the plant with all the growth factors. And it's really like the stem cells of the plants. And somebody else asked about the libraries. We have these libraries, which are the childhood trauma libraries, which Dominga talked about during the summit. So let's just go ahead and look at those. The clearing early trauma from conception to birth. So you can get those. And remember, you can use BF 40 for 40% discounts. Unprecedented amount of discount for this Black Friday, but we know economy and all these things. We want to give you a tremendous opportunity to save money on your libraries, to get the libraries you want, libraries that you heard about during the summit. And so we are offering them at the 40% discount. Then we see, actually Dawn has said that she sees lots of things on her scan about the effects of inoculation. These things are meant to be quiet for a long amount of time, and then they can become activated years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They were designed that way to become active later on. And some of the people who were kind of onto this and talked about the Nagalese, you guys remember hearing about that, and the GC moth that you just don't hear people talking about anymore. Those first doctors kind of disappeared off the scene because the GC moth seemed to reverse the long-term effects of the inoculations. I don't know if the GC moth would do the same thing for the current J that we're dealing with because it's so different. It's just something completely different from all of those other inoculations. Yeah, so it'd be from early grade school. Yeah, it's interesting. You can still see the effects. You're not the only one. We can see the effects. Okay, so rectus abdominis, so some muscular things, levator scapulae having to do with the shoulder. Nutrametics, Babuna, that is usually used for Lyme. But a lot of the Nutrametics remedies, that's another library that people can get for Lyme or just in general, are very immune supportive and very good for anybody who's chronic microorganisms, chronic parasites. It's used for Lyme, but there's a lot of remedies in the Nutrimetics one that are like really help you to boost your immune system, to get rid of microorganisms, to get rid of parasites. A lot of them are Amazonian herbs. They're really, really powerful. Hexagram 50, fire over wind. Find the center within yourself and become present. When you are centered, you have the best chance of moving forward with great prosperity. So your I Ching, we're even casting the I Ching today for you, Dawn. So fire over wind, find the center within yourself and become present. When you are centered, you have the best chance of moving forward with great prosperity. Interesting. So taking a moment to just kick back and be present. A valve issue. So the heart stuff kind of keeps coming up again. Very interesting. Another kidney issue. Now, these don't have to be 100% expressed as such. She may not have anything we call that a frank pathology. She doesn't have the thing, but she could have the potential. Biofeedback reveals to us what is happening in the biofield. Things happen in the biofield before they get laid down into the physical body. So think about that with the how much potential. So the sun is actually shining here in Portland. Think about how much potential that means for you to prevent things before they become active in the physical body. That is the potential of quantum biofeedback. Let's find it out early. Let's get the information. Let's get the encoded information that we need. I bought the cell salt library and used it in the synergistics, and it was amazing. So Lori, that's what we worked on with Kelly. So Kelly was with us yesterday, and the first, so if you look at number 3 from yesterday, and you can do that by going to our blog at geniusbiofeedback.com. When you go to the blog, you can actually, let's see if we can find it together. So if we go to learn, and then we go down to the blog, we're going to see the first thing on the blog right here is all the things, all of the talks from Karen and Kelly, and the one from yesterday, the first one, she talks all about the way that she uses synergistics. So very, very cool. All right. More toxins. Very interesting. I wonder if there was some chemical exposure. What was your profession? What was your career? Was it you were close to anything? Did you live near a dry cleaner? So it's funny that it comes up. It could come up for anybody. So then we have the contractility of my heart. So definitely heart things, or I want you to work with the heart library. And we can talk more about the heart library, which comes with that starter complete. Reduce meat intake. Now it says prostate assessment. Of course, woman doesn't have a prostate, but it's still the energy. It still could be related to, if there is meat in the diet, it's recommending that we reduce it. And that's better. And I don't know if there is or not, but it's better that it comes from the genius sometimes than it comes from me. Acetyl-CoA. So that is going to be a good antioxidant to boost the metabolism. Plasmodium malariae, pathogen causing, so parasite, to clear it. Let's just get a few more things in here, and then let's go back. All right, let's get a few things that we can grab here. Of course, we could have grabbed the top 50. I'm just going to do the 54. Then let's go back into, let's see what's happening with the aura. If the aura does give us, I don't see on mine, I don't see the ability yet to toggle, and I did just upload the latest version. So I'm not sure if it's available. Maybe it's available for Android at this point. I don't see it on mine. Okay, so she says the toxins could be from early grade school back. Oh, those were the inoculations. Hairdressing, and worked at a dry cleaners for a short time. I can't believe I said dry cleaners and you worked at a dry cleaners. That's crazy. Yeah, so when you breathe that stuff in, it goes into the bloodstream through the lungs, it goes into the bloodstream, and then it goes into our cells, and we can keep it for a long time. So for you, if you have any access to a sauna, if you can go somewhere, maybe just pay $10 or something to use it for an hour, maybe twice a week, get yourself sweating, or even look online. They have personalized saunas, which is just sort of a glorified little cube that you get into that comes with a heater, an infrared heater, and you just sit inside of it. But you try to get yourself sweating to try to move those toxins out of the body. Okay, that's the button at the upper. Why did he say switch to old? Oh God, just switch to alternate aura. Anything switch to old. Does that mean you're going to become an old lady if you switch to it? Oh, jeepers creepers. Okay, we got to get some better wording in there. That looks like it's not the forte. All right, so that all being said, let's go ahead and do it. So the new one, I still think this aura function, whoever did this on the screen, maybe you guys could tell the developer, because I don't want to hear anything else from me. So maybe you can just tell them, look, I think somebody doesn't do the right symmetry here. This does not look like it is down the middle. It's like you just need to pick this up and just move it a little bit to the left in order to be symmetrical. Maybe somebody can email him and tell him and suggest that to him. All that being said, what a beautiful aura. Absolutely wonderful. It looks so interesting. So we've got this deep, deep purple, which is very high vibrational. We're up in that pineal gland, sixth chakra, beautiful. And then pink, so a pink outer layer. And then beyond that, a beautiful yellow. And maybe that's that solar plexus that was mentioned when we looked at that general overview. So really fascinating. And thank you, everybody who's joining us. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And thank you for checking out the live stream. We really appreciate you. And everybody who's here gets early access to our library special, which is BF40 or 40% off any libraries now through the end of Black Friday. So check them out. And BF, like Black Friday 40 at checkout. And thank you. And anybody who's gotten libraries, come back on here or let us know in the chat. And we'll look at the particular libraries that you just got and give you a synopsis of them, how to use them. So that's a fun thing that we're doing just for, hanging out here on the stream today. So now switch to old. Let's see the difference if we switch to the old. This should be fascinating. Switch to the classic. So we've got an old and we've got classic. All right. So it's already done an analysis of it. I got to be honest with you. This doesn't look like the old one. So is anybody with me there? Like, this doesn't look like the old one whatsoever. Okay, let's make sure we got it. Okay, switch to old. Oh no, that's not working. Oh God. Heaven help us. So it doesn't look like it's working. Let's just see, maybe if we need to rescan it. That didn't look like the old version. Does anybody else have any feedback? That didn't look like the old version. It looks like a mess. I don't know. I'm sure we're going to get it right eventually. Yeah, got to hand it to him, like it's Thanksgiving and he put out this new version. You got to give a tip of the hat to him for at least trying. But you know what? Now the new one is kind of growing on me, seeing the other one. So anyway, that's just our starting point. Let's get back to business here. Let's look at some flower essences, because flower essences are always talking about the emotional story for that person. I think that that's important in any particular case. Jen, happy Thanksgiving to you, and thank you so much. And if anybody has feedback, what they think about if the old aura function, does that look like the old aura function to you? You can let me know in the chat if you have any feedback on that. Okay, Bach flower essences. I want everyone, we talk about this in practitioner level 1. Practitioner level 1 is 50% off for Black Friday. So if you go to practitioner level 1 on the website, you can get a great discount. If you've never done that one, I really, really recommend it, because it gives you all the strategies and protocols that you really need to be a great practitioner. And we did it really to get people just sort of baseline off the ground to understand how to really be a practitioner, give you some guidelines, give you some guidance so you can be successful, have a successful practice. It's now 50% off. So, okay. All right. You know what? That is not the right link for that. We got to change that. Let me give you a correct link for that so you can get the 50% off. That should have been changed. Unfortunately, it wasn't changed correctly. Let me do this now. So deals, if you go to deals, you have to go to the Black Friday deals, and let's go ahead and get it right. So if we go here, you can actually get the 50% off, and it was $397, but for some reason, it's not bringing it up correctly. So if we go here, we can actually click on it and it will give us the installments. So you can still get it right here on the practitioner page. It'll give you the 50% off. I need to correct that right after the I might be able to correct it during the stream. All right, let's make sure that that's in the chat. If you want practitioner level 1, here it is for $99 a month, and it's a 50% off. So it's going to be $397 instead of $497. Maybe I can correct it while we're talking here. So it's a 50% off on the practitioner level 1. But in practitioner level 1, I really instructed people to make sure that every single session that you do includes changes here, that it absolutely includes flower essences. So we've got rock rose, rock water, pine. Now, pine I know is about clearing a feeling of guilt. Now, cherry plum is pent up emotions, just pent up emotions, feeling like they call it the temper tantrum. And so there's often like a need to just release some energy. Now, remember, what our flower essences tell us is not the final piece of information. Is actually giving you the ability to move through the issue that you're facing. So if you run cherry plum, you're not going to be the same as before that you ran the cherry plum. You're going to have less of that need to release that. You're not going to have all of that pent up emotion, but it also may tell you that you need to release that pent up emotion. So it could be both. It could be instructive, but it also could be tremendously clearing. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and correct that information on the website to make it 50% off in case somebody wants to click right on the practitioner level 1. Now it is going to be corrected. When you ask somebody to do something and they don't do it, it's so disappointing. Okay, it's all good. We're going to make sure we save that now. Now, there we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take all of those red items and we're going to go ahead and we're also going to put all of the blue items into the tray. Let's look at some of the blues. Honeysuckle is being nostalgic for the past. Now, you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if each and every one of us was nostalgic for the past, because I want you to just think of life in 2019. It just doesn't it seem like Disneyland in comparison? I don't want to say Disneyland. Doesn't it seem like just an island vacation in comparison to what we've got going on now? Of course, this is the thing that we absolutely needed. We needed to become more aware. When you think about life before and after, it's hard to believe. So anyway, a lot of us are nostalgic for a past time. And so we've got agrimony, vine, heather, scleranthus. Scleranthus is when you're trying to decide between two choices or trying to make a decision. You can't make a decision. So let's go ahead and take that and let's go ahead and go to the progressive insights. So let's go to progressive insights and let's see what comes up at the top of progressive insights. Now, Dawn, you may want to check your quanta capsule. I don't know if you want to activate it for yourself. We did give you a quanta capsule in your dashboard. I'll even show everybody like where you would look for it, because we could send this to your quanta capsule and then we'll take another person who would like a scan. We're just at the sort of the, into the second hour and we're going to go to 2 o'clock. So we have plenty of time. Restore healthy colon function. That's really interesting because that came up several times. So it's just fascinating what the genus picks up and shows to us. Absolutely amazing. So now we've got wild rose. Wild rose. All right, that's interesting. Wild rose is kind of apathy, just feeling, almost like I just don't care anymore. I mean, this is too hard, that kind of energy. But remember that when you run the flower essence or you take the flower essence, it gives you the ability to move through that, to move past that. The stylohyoid is, I believe, in the ear. There are a couple of things that came up around the stylohyoid. My progress in life is limited. So it's saying I want to delete it, destroy it, and release it. And so that is to say my progress can be unlimited. I really think this life should be like a Benjamin Button experience. It doesn't make any sense for us to grow older and grow to deterioration and being disabled and degeneration is what I was trying to say. It does not make any sense for us to grow into this state of degeneration. Like as we get older, we should get stronger. We should get better. We become more of who we truly are. We should get stronger and stronger. We have more information. We have more wisdom. We have more knowledge. Life should just keep getting better and better and better. And Karen, it's like David Wolf always says, he wakes up in the morning and he says, hey, this is the best day ever. What a great mantra to have. Why shouldn't every day that you wake up and God is giving you one more day on this incredible, experience, this journey of life, and to just say, hey, this is the best day ever. Just wake up and just state it's the best day ever, and every day of your life will be the best day ever. So the other things that were a priority here, liver. So we're working on the liver. Liver ND is a premier research product, which is like a liquid that can help to have lots of herbs to clear out the liver, to make it to detoxify. This is an infection that needs to be cleared. These are some trigger points that are going to be cleared. This is the nostalgia, kind of wanting to live in the past. This is a dietary recommendation. Ability to detoxify now restored. There might have been a block in our ability to detoxify. Look at that. Valor is coming up strongly for her. So let's go ahead and let's, I think we just did this, right? We just did a minute of this. Let's go ahead and do a rescan for fun. And she went to 64% rectification. That's a great rectification on the first rectification. Let's see what comes up now. This is a good session. Thank you so much for volunteering. So Wild Rose, Wild Rose is coming up a couple of times for her. And then Vine is very much, a lot of healers have that Vine energy. And it's when we really almost want to control people, but we don't really want to control them because we want them. It's like your family, you didn't want them to get the J and they got the J anyway, just like begged them not to get the J. Releasing the pattern of using vital energy to control others as it constrains your energy and the energy of others. Open and release for joy and freedom for all. We all get into this. We're not really trying to control. We're just trying to recommend, but sometimes we go over that. I haven't been able to tell any of my family, don't do this, because they're just, I can't even get to the first sentence. No, don't talk about this. It's forbidden. It's really sad, because you just feel like your role in life is like you have to shout at the top of your lungs, don't do that, that's dangerous. And he's like, nope. It's funny that we're all kind of, many of us found us in that very uncomfortable position for whatever reason. Who knows? So let's play these to see what the rectification percentage is. Then Wild Rose, that sort of apathy came up again. Valor now is rising up to the top, really, really supporting her. The body ecology diet saying, hey, look at the gut microbiome. This is important for you to look at fermented foods and take care of that gut. That will help you. Check out the body ecology diet. I think you really like that book. Agrimony. There are a few that I really know well with the flower essences, but these desk reference success cards are really great. And I know you just upgraded, Dawn, so you're going to be getting these desk reference success cards. Moving beyond a tendency to put on a happy face when feeling sadness. So that's agrimony. Now, the cool thing in this, the desk reference success cards is it connects to other parts of the genius. So in this one, it says like agrimony, this might be really loud on the stream here. Like agrimony is also connected to the heart, connected to the triple warmer meridian, connected to the toroidal field, connected to the flower of life, connected to 639 hertz for healing relationships. So let's go ahead and let's do one more rescan. This is what I teach in practitioner level 1, 50% off for Black Friday. Check it out. I go all about how do you put together a session. What should you include? What emotions should you include? What flower essences should you include? How long should you run it? When should you do a rescan? This is what we talk about in that course. Let's go ahead and do another rescan. And let's go ahead and see what we have. Something about the contractility of the heart. The contractility of my heart is optimal. Contractility means how strong it can beat. If your heart can beat nice and strong, that means that you're going to have good, healthy circulation of the blood. You don't want stagnation of the blood in the body. That is obviously very, very dangerous and what Chinese medicine warns against. Myco, so something for mycotoxins, olive leaf, uva ursi, stellingia, garlic, usnea, Una number 228, again, about the meat. So the genius is on you about the meat. I don't know if there is or not. Honeysuckle, chicory, optic nerve, turmeric, stylohyoid, lymphatic movement. Okay, it's really, I find it, even as a naturopath, I'll tell you what, as a naturopathic doctor, we're taught certain things that we need to do. We need to take a thorough history, and then we need to sit in front of that person, and we need to tell them at the end of the hour assessment, what in the heck is going on with them? What is wrong with them, right? It's so hard because people come in as a naturopath. Okay, Dr. Ariel, I am tired. I have a headache. I have migraines. My period's irregular. I have backache. Also, my nose runs. Also, I have reflux. Also, I'm constipated. And you're just sitting there, in your chair as the doctor, and you're just like, good Lord, what am I going to do for this person? It's so stressful. And so my practice used to be so stressful, just trying to bring all the pieces together. My God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to do the wrong thing. I don't want to prescribe the wrong thing. But the genius is that piece where I can actually just sit back with my client, my patient, and just be like, let the genius reveal to us the information. And then it becomes to me more like a moving meditation. Like, let's see what we can be fascinated by, learn about what's coming up for the person. And that really is part of, let's see, she got 23% rectification. So when we see a slow rectification, it usually means we're getting to the juicy, deeper layers, because the first rectification is more superficial. When you rescan and then you test again, it says, well, given that we have cleared these items, what onion layer can we peel to go to a deeper layer? Then we rescan again, run, get high rectification, rescan, now it goes to an even deeper layer. First, we were 64% rectification, then we were 56% rectification. Make sure you drink some water, Don. Now we're 23% rectification. What happened? We're hitting a deeper layer where it may take more time. So it may need another minute, 2 minutes to go through this. And it tells us that the information that's coming to the top is quite significant. So nothing may be wrong with the heart per se. We couldn't find anything on a test. Her heart is fine. But in the biofield, it's telling us, make sure we do things to make sure the heart stays healthy moving forward. So that's really, really important. And it tells us to work on some mycotoxins. It tells us to work on the nervous system with into 228, which is very, very tonifying, calming, soothing to the nervous system, etc. So I love the genius. You guys, when you know these pearls, when you know the way to work with the genius, it is magical. It is amazing. So I actually want to go back and, you guys, if you want me to look at certain libraries, make sure you put the libraries into the chat. Did you get some new libraries? What libraries have you always wondered about? What do you want new information on? I want to make sure that I go to a library called Discover the Root Cause. Many of you probably have this one. It's one of my favorites. I wrote the root cause because as a naturopath, that is the most important thing, is to find the root cause. It's something that unfortunately MDs know nothing about to a certain extent. Their goal is to find a diagnosis. When they find a diagnosis, they're going to give you a single medication, one size fits all for the most part, and then you're going to be on your way after your 10-minute visit. You're allotted 10 minutes with your doctor. That's just the way it is. That's just the reality of it. In naturopathic medicine, we spend much more time with our patient, and we try to find out what is underneath all the things that they're experiencing. Where did this come from? What is the root cause? So out of that knowledge base, I created root cause. What is the cause of the issue? Chronic virus is part of the root cause. Dog allergies. Now, she could tell us there's no dog. I don't know what you're talking about. So we could just, put that, just say it doesn't apply. Jaw misalignment contributing to the root cause. If you have any jaw misalignment, the mouth, the jaw is always trying to correct it. It's called malocclusion. And combined with, as we age, unfortunately, these muscles when we sleep, if these muscles get weak around the neck, then we tend to, whether it be snore, or we might have sleep apnea, or we might just be sort of clenching as we're trying to get more air, if some of the airway gets cut off because of the weaker neck muscles. And so when that happens, we may clench the jaw. And if the jaw is malaligned in any way, if there's malocclusion, many people have that, then you may clench in order to sort of straighten out the jaw to find the alignment again. Childhood trauma, residual effect contributing to the current issue. Now, she was so gracious and kind to reveal to us some of the things did happen in her childhood, as it did for many of us. And that feels may be still affecting her. Autoimmune reactions are contributing to the root cause. Interesting, may be unknown. Immune system is the center of the health issues. Qi stagnation is part of the root cause. That's sort of related to the information we're seeing about the heart. Let's go down to some of the blue items and just look at those. Impaired overall circulation comparing to root cause. I think we've discovered something here that, check out my high vibe nutrition course. I think that would be really, really helpful. We want to make sure that heart is well cared for. You could also check out Dr. Esselstyn's book, Preventing and Reversing Heart Disease. We're not saying there's any heart disease. I'm just saying based on what I'm seeing, there's some certain changes that I would recommend. I think my high vibe nutrition one is easier to digest and learn from. Chronic emotional stress contributing to the root cause. That may not be happening right now, but it's interesting. Let's get the rest of all the reds and the blues, and then let's do another progressive insights to see which ones in progressive insights are most important. I want to talk again about progressive insights. So let's go ahead and let's use that bulk, drag, and drop function. And just give me one moment to do that. There we go. Okay, just to change this. The save button, I need to just do an adjustment there. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to use the bulk, drag, and drop function. It's down here at the bottom. Let's go ahead and grab it. And we're going to get to some of your comments and questions in just a moment. Let's go ahead and grab the reds. Let's go back. Now we have 90 items. Let's go ahead to use this play button to go to Progressive Insights. And now we're going to begin the analysis. All right. Here we go. All right. So let's see. All right. Actually, I have a totally different view of the aura colors and pattern. I really like it. It relates to chakras, how chakras are not aligned. Are you talking about the old one, Jen, or are you talking about the new one? Tell me in the chat. I know you said that a while back, but let's go ahead and find out. Okay. I had a really hard time with the Quanta capsule. Could you send me my bonus through my email? No, you have to get it out of your dashboard. So don't worry. Tomorrow we can have someone get in touch with you. Does the 20% discount apply to the library as the courses? Jen, we have 50% off the courses already. So that's what applies. Library Discount Club, you guys have a very, very special discount that is above and beyond, but it's for libraries. So it's for libraries. So check out the library email that we sent to you, Jen. Be sure to check your inbox. Also check your promotions folder, because last night I sent out an email for Library Discount Club specifically. Okay, I've been taking a lot of liquid milk thistle. So that's interesting. I like, Dawn, that you're sort of tapped into a lot of the things we're talking about. And that is such a common thing that people tell us, like, oh my gosh, you're telling me what my naturopath just told me. You're telling me what my chiropractor just told me. This is really helpful. It really confirms things that I was thinking about. All right. Getting spam comments in the YouTube chat. Love it. Don't love it. But thank you, everybody who's on YouTube. Thank you, everybody who's just joining us in the Zoom for our special, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Really thankful and grateful for the amazing community that we have to come together. And that J thing is something we're going to be talking about more on our Rumble channel, because we have to talk about it and have to really teach maybe how the genius and lifestyle can really help people at this time. All right. So it's interesting. It's picking up on a whole new set of information. Now, would anybody else like to have a scan today? Now's the time to put your date of birth into the chat section. And also libraries, what libraries would you like me to talk about? We're also going to look at some new remedy plates. These are going to be posted and they are going to be on special this afternoon. I just didn't get to it right before class, but I am going to post them as soon as I get it. We're going to have specials on them. And I think you're going to like the specials for the remedy plates. Let's see if we could possibly take a look at them on the Zoom. And maybe I can just show them. I don't know if it would be better suited if we just show them on here. All right, let's go ahead and just turn this. Let's see what rectification percentage we get. And then I'm going to show this. I'm just going to turn the screen share off for a moment. We'll just talk about these different remedy plates. This one is going to be posted this afternoon. They're going to be on an amazing special, like they're basically they're going to be on special. They're going to be for $247, which is usually a $500 plate. So these are going to be about 50% discounted. And this one has layers to it. So we're going to post this, and it has batteries. We're going to include some batteries for you. And then you can basically see the light come on, and this is going to connect to your Genius, and you can imprint from it. It's got 3 separate, powerful sacred geometry tesseract plates on it. So let's see, we got 13%. Wow. I'm going to keep balancing here, but that was only 1 minute, only yielded us 13% rectification. Let's see if I can turn the share off for a second and then just show this on here. So if we go here, okay, that's actually a pretty good view. So this is called a tesseract sacred geometry in the plate. We've got 3 layers of it. It's going to be on special. We'll go ahead and include some batteries for you, and then we'll include some cables for you to hook it up. It hooks up from here, from this port here. So you just hook that in. I don't think you can see too well. That is just a 3.5 millimeter stereo connection. And then you connect that to your Genius. So you get some type of an adapter. Let's see if I have one here. So you get some type of an adapter wire that's going to go. I think I can show that. All right. So this is a nice sized adapter, 3.5 millimeter wire, and it's got 2 ends here. And so we simply go ahead and connect that here. So that's going to be one end, right? And so just think the triple plates, that's going to be great for broadcasting with a lot of power. It's going to be great for importing. A beautiful, beautiful sacred geometry on here. And you're going to be able to see that light turn on so that you know that it's powered up. And then we're going to take the iPad, and it's just going to be like this. And then anything now that is playing on here will be sent to the plate. So we're going to look at a couple of other ones. These are all going to be on special for, these are all going to be on special for Black Friday. So definitely look for these. I've got another one to show you. That's really, really interesting. This one is just a triangular configuration, beautiful sacred geometry. So also all of that triangle energy is going to come through the sacred geometry on that plate. So you may be drawn to this particular plate. And we have the original Chartreuse Labyrinth plate. This will be on special as well. Beautiful, beautiful plate as well for imprinting. It's got the batteries on the bottom there. We have our original plate, which is a great broadcasting plate as well. It works in much the same way. What I like about this plate is it's lightweight, so I can take this with me when I'm traveling, flying. What it has copper tracings in it. The guy who built this is very, very quantum physics oriented, brilliant. And so the triangle and then the copper tracings are very, very good for scalar broadcasting. So you could actually take this and take your Genius frequencies. You don't even have to imprint, but you can use this as a broadcaster and amplifier. When the person is in front of you, you could run this to their meridians or any muscle or part of their, part of their body or their meridians. We also have a boosted plate. Let me see if I can get over here and get this as well. All of these will be on special tomorrow. So they will be at a special price tomorrow. Here is our boosted plate. Okay, we're going to have to find those, but those are 4 pretty good, pretty exciting remedy plates that you can get. So the microphone back here, and those will all be on special for tomorrow. We also have our new hologram. You can find the hologram bands. These are great as well. These hologram bands are fantastic for imprinting. Just put the frequencies on whatever plate that you get. When you put them on the plate, they will imprint the hologram on the plate. And so when you wear the hologram, you're going to get the frequencies. I think these are going to be an awesome upgrade, even from just the silicon band. So that'll be really exciting. All right. So just back to what we were doing with the Genius. Now I did another minute. I'm going to bring this back now. I'm going to bring this up, the Genius. And it's interesting that in the minute that I was talking, we only went to an 18% rectification. If you arrived and you'd like a scan, please volunteer by putting your date of birth into the chat. And if anybody on here, okay. So Karen, thanks for reporting that as spam. I really appreciate it. And all right. So everybody on YouTube, unfortunately, gets spammed at some point. See if we can get this Genius back up here. Anybody else want to volunteer to have a scan? Because we do want to talk about some other features. I'll go ahead and talk about them for Dawn. But do volunteer if you want to scan, even if you're just here hanging out and you think, oh, I never had a scan before, I'd like one, then volunteer. And again, we're about maybe just into the second hour here. We're going to 2 o'clock this afternoon. So you definitely have some time. Now, look, she only went to 18% rectification. So that's very interesting. So the body kind of slowed down and looked at this dental infection, liver function, optic nerve. Very interesting that sort of slowed down. I want to switch our attention here to go to the reports. So I want to look at some of the reports that are new, and particularly the quick view reports. So we're going to go to report, and we want the one that says quick overview. These are the ones I've contributed to the top report that you see that came from something that we developed. So just pointing out to people what are their top remedies for today, basically at the top of the scale. And so it told us that the solfeggio tones about 174, no GAE about pain and nerve conduction, the brow chakra, gave us all the top ones. And that's really easy because we can send that to people. We can email that to people. It's great for doing that. Okay, Christina, gotcha. Okay, so what is the difference between the plates for results? They just have different sacred geometry. I don't think one is better than another. I think the best thing to do is to sort of tap in and just intuitively, obviously if you already have a plate, you're fine. If you want to get another one, it's just going to be a different quality of the vibration, of how it broadcasts the different frequency. Importing is probably going to be about the same in terms of importing frequencies from the plate, but making a water remedy could be slightly different because it has a different vibration of the sacred geometry that's on the plate. They pretty much all do the same thing, but some people just absolutely love to get new plates and try new things. So that's why we're providing some different plates. Let's go ahead and look at the energy. The estimation of your energy levels for the day, it's giving us a 90%. Degenerative energy, it's giving us a 50%. Counterproductive energy, I'm starting to doubt these, because they're sort of the same for a lot of people, but I think this one is different because I think we saw a lower one for last time. So let's just talk about what these are so that we can really understand the new functions of the Genius. Energy is going to be exactly what you see, what you understand all about energy, the estimation of your current energy for the day. Degenerative, an estimation of degenerative energy, the energy of oxidative stress, decaying energy from the cells going through oxidative stress. So things that would cause oxidative stress would be toxins, would be actually emotional stress, would be EMFs, would be if there is toxins in the body causing inflammation. Not Dawn per se, but other people, like if they would drink or smoke, those are examples of things that would produce more oxidative stress and more degenerative energy. She's not doing that. She's at a 50%, but we'd like to see that come down over time to be less degenerative energy. Now, counterproductive energy, it's sort of similar. Counterproductive energy, so it says here, the amount of energy your body spends on counteracting disruptive energies or imbalances in your body, like food allergies, autoimmune response, not only cellular, but can be systemic. And then toxicity is inner terrain. So I don't know what to say about these. We'd want to see counterproductive energy and the degenerative energy begin to reduce and come down for sure. But the energy, the overall energy looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right. Is it beneficial to run those frequencies again to try to raise the percentage? Yeah. If I didn't want to show the reports, I would have run it again from 18%. We would want to see if it goes up. But if it goes down, That means we're done with those frequencies for now. So if you go back to where we were, not there, if we go back to Progressive Insights, you're right, Tammy, we would have wanted to run this. We could do it now while we're talking, run this for another minute. But if it goes down, then we need to like add something to the mix, or we need to ask the person to drink more water. We're not quite, getting what we want. Let's see what happens with this another minute here. And all right. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Nancy. Thank you for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Okay. So libraries that you'd like to know more about, or I will also talk about some libraries as well. Thank you, everybody who's watching on YouTube. We're checking out the chat, watching the chat in YouTube as well. And thank you for everybody who's joining us on the live stream, and happy Thanksgiving. We're going to be on here till about 2 o'clock Pacific, and then send you off to eat your Thanksgiving dinner, whatever it may be that you're doing a little bit later on. But wanted to spend some time with you, talk about remedy plates, talk about specials, things that we have coming up, things that we're doing tomorrow for Black Friday. Remember that anybody who's new to our community can get the best packages of the year at geniusbiofeedback.com. We're here to help you, get you all set up, all that good stuff. So it actually went to 42%. So that's fantastic. A couple of other of my favorite libraries I just want to call your attention to is the Complete Body Tune-Up. I have like at least 3 keyboards here, trying to juggle all of them. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go to Complete Body Tune-Up. So in the Complete Body Tune-Up, this is sort of another theme or vibration of root cause. The endocrine glands of the pancreas are revitalized and regenerated. So when you look at this, you think, oh, that's interesting. If they want to be revitalized and regenerated, maybe they're not as perfect as they could be because they're asking to be revitalized. So that's something it sort of informs you in the reverse of what might be going on. The heart is beating with perfect rhythm. Again, we see that over and over again. A really good thing just in general for the layperson to check out is actually hawthorn berry. So hawthorn berry is really good for the contractility and the rhythm of the heart. Now, I'm not making a specific recommendation, but you may want to read about hawthorn berry. I love Gaia Herbs has a really great liquid, or not liquid, they have a solid extract, hawthorn berry solid extract, and it eats like a jam, or you can make a tea out of it. So I love the sort of the herbal folk medicine, carbohydrate metabolism with the liver is regenerated and optimized. My thyroid receives all the proper messaging from my pituitary gland. All the cells of my thyroid produce the perfect amount. And the rhythmic waves of my digestion. I swear, who needs a med bed when you have this level of dynamic sort of combination where you can tune up the entire being at one time? It's so cool. I mean, this is so broad, all the information that it covers. Let's go ahead and get those blues in there. A lot of stuff about thyroid function, adrenal, again, heart sort of comes up again. Very interesting. Let's go back now at 133 items. Let's go back to the Progressive Insights and do a scan and see what comes up. Okay. And thank you, Karen. She's posted the full movie for the Stu Peters movie, Died Suddenly. Definitely, if you're on here, you're watching on YouTube and you haven't watched it yet, definitely check it out. Really, really important. Wow, that myco, amyco with olive leaf, uva ursi, stellingia, garlic, and usnea comes up again. So there might be some type of candida, yeast, mycotoxin, which is related to mold coming up. My stomach is properly regulated. We talked about that one. Lymphatic movement. So just working on lymphatic system, some detox. So those things are coming up again and again. Nothing really too new. Fat metabolism, working on the liver, gastric artery, celiac trunk, aldosterone from the adrenals, digestion. I think you're going to feel good. I think you're going to feel good after we do this one on you. I do not know how to check the sound on the video. Check the sound and the video. What is going on with the sound, Christina? You can let us know. What is going on with the sound that you want us to know? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, everybody who's joining us. And thank you again for being part of our Thanksgiving Day stream, live stream. All right, let's see where we are after 1 minute, and let's see if we've left anything out of talking about the new version. We have some other reports that we can look at. I can't think of anything that we've really left out of the picture at this point. Does anybody here have any questions that they would like to ask, and something they would like me to talk about, look at? What would you like me to talk about? What would you like me to focus on? Do you have a topic, something you would like me to work on? I have to say, Dawn, really good job, because you go right to those rectification percentages for the most part pretty quickly. So something you're doing is very, very good for you. I don't know if it's drinking enough water or getting enough like fruits and vegetables or something, but you're keeping pretty good flow in your body, which is awesome, which is fantastic. So kudos to you. Let's see if there's anything else. Just look at some of the things that we talked about trying to remember some of the things we talked about during the summit that people mentioned that they really liked. And one that I haven't talked about in a long time is the library called Healing Chronic Cases, and it goes hand in hand with our practitioner level 2. Practitioner level 2, you can get a practitioner bundle 1 through 8 for 50% off if you want to learn all about natural health and know what a naturopathic doctor knows. We have all those practitioner levels available, and we have installments for them. And Dawn says, yeah, I eat pretty well and I drink lots of water. Well, it's really showing in your scan. And practitioner level 2, we talked all about cancer and what cancer really is. And cancer is like a development along a spectrum. So along a spectrum, you could be optimally well, you could have all the energy in the world, and somewhere in there, you might not be feeling so good. You could feel kind of run down. And as you migrate down the spectrum of toxicity and exhaustion and emotional stress, you may get cancer. But it doesn't mean that you can't migrate back down the other way and go back along that road and come back to full health. But somebody wants you to think that that is a death sentence. It's terrible. It's just your body crying out for help and asking to be healed and asking to be better nourished and clear up the gut and balance the hormones and reduce the inflammation. So we really teach that optimistic way of looking at cancer and balancing in Healing Chronic Cases. Now, this isn't saying anything about cancer, but just because chronic cases are usually embody somebody who does have cancer, but this is just telling us sort of the global causative factors and other things. It's a good series of sort of overall. In fact, you could use this in your practice just as an overall check of what's going on with someone. It's sort of very, very comprehensive. It looks at the gut, then it moves on, and the search thing needs to be fixed. Then number 3, it looks at different things that would be good for the gut. And number 4, let's look at number 4. So I have to go back, and then I have to hit, oh, that's, yeah, it almost worked, and then it lost it. And then number 4 is, is number 4 missing for some reason? Yeah, what is going on with number 4? I'm gonna have to find it. Let's go number 5, digestive, leaky gut, nervous system needs support. These are a lot of things that we've already seen that we're seeing again on the scan. Almost gets there, and then we lose it. Number 6, geopathic stress. All right, some geopathic stress. Maybe there might be something with where she lives that's causing some geopathic stress. And then we have to go back. We have to do this again. Common infection. So you get the idea. It basically goes through a series of tests all about for someone who might have chronic issues going on. Okay, I hear your voice, but I can't talk to you. I have no switcher to turn the voice on. Well, Christina, we're not quite at your scan yet, so hang tight there. And also, Karen, if you want to join me, let me know. I'll invite, I don't know if you're still on I don't know if you're just on, there you are. Okay, yeah. So if you want to come up here and hang out with us for a little while, you're absolutely welcome to. And you can help us with some cases and some ideas And we'll look at that aura again. Look at that aura. Let's see how the aura has changed. Ruth, thank you so much for the positive feedback about the courses. Well, good morning or good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
How am I? I'm excited. I know I'm unpacking.
Do you like your new place?
Actually, it's really cute. It really is. So I'm enjoying it. So
I feel like you're someplace that's safe.
you know, I feel safe. I'm at the mountains, at the lake. I say, other than EMF, this morning I got up and I'm all hot and red. I'm like, oh, crap, I think we're getting hit again. I brought out all the EMF meters, but you know, where are we going to go? But yeah, I've got a lot of friends around here. So it's great.
That's,
you know,
that's awesome. I mean,
discovering all my genius toys. I've had in like, you know, bags all over the place, like 3 sets on the road. So
that's amazing. It's nice to settle in and to have a place. So big congratulations. And a lot of people know Karen McDonald. If you don't, be introduced to somebody who's really powerful, does amazing scans. If you ever want to have a scan with her, she can talk to you about her library. She can talk to you about if you have something going on. She could do a scan, introduce you to her way of working, which goes very, very deep. And so definitely we're going to put your contact information into the chat as well and let people know how to get in touch with you. So look at this ending aura is actually really, really beautiful. A lot of these colors are very, very playful. And you had a take on this. You said you go way beyond sort of just the chakras, the colors. Tell us a little bit about your interpretation of these egg auras.
Well, I really like them. I mean, I'm used to kind of versed. I think if people have seen the toroid, like if you see how an actual, you know, biofield actually looks, you got grids on the inside and the outside, which is really kind of looking down. When you see the sacred geometry, I'm looking for the breaks in that. So it's because there are different fields. And when you look at the end result, especially here, you can see that vibrancy. So to me, getting into that fuchsia is getting into all the different, it's like hitting this, you know, reconnections of, you know, the 8th, 9th, and 10th chakras. So once you start seeing things like that, I said, we should always look like this is the ultimate, the rose or the, you know, pink flamingo kind of stuff. That means it's going right through to the bones, the muscles, the blood, everything. And I always look at it from the top. So if you think of it, looking at it from the space station, or, you know, what we're looking at down on someone, you're actually seeing the field, which should be for a female about 13 feet and a male about 12. So when you start seeing some of the other ones, like you saw previously, you know, if it was green, or yesterday we looked at that really kind of neon yellow because she had all those reproductive and bladder issues, you're going to see that there's an actual blockage there. And I think a lot of people have seen not just the Pink Floyd thing, where, you know, where the light spectrum comes in, you'll see the light coming in into the triangle, into the prism, and it breaks out into the colors. So this is where you're looking to see that. So there's still a bunch of issues, and it's kind of that darky rust. So again, there's 2nd chakra, and it's a little bit mucky in the 3rd. So if you think about the double toroid, it's like, you know, how they always depict, you know, angels with our wings. Well, that's what you're actually seeing. And this would be a depiction of the halo or the aura. So yeah,
it's really cool. That's amazing.
And
yeah,
you know,
I mean, it's just amazing to see the difference. I mean, it's so obvious that her vital force has improved when you look at the second one.
Oh, there's no question. When you see the outer rings in here, so you're seeing the blockages that were in the 3rd chakra has now moved up those acupuncture timeline meridians. And so you and I would know this, but there's something called the colon hydrotherapy chart. And basically it's the neural arc reflux. So if you look at where the blockages are and just think of your timelines going through, also live blood cell, that's how we read on live blood cell and dark field, the coagulation. And that's the same thing for iridology. You're looking at almost the same mapping. So from there, I just kind of superimpose all these maps and grids and take a look at it. So there's a fantastic, you know, clearage through actually a large part of that body. You know, so you've actually moved from basically the 3rd chakra up into the 4th. So that's a 3D to 4D move right there. So, and because it's been so effective in this therapy, you might as well say it's gone right through the whole system. So I'm really impressed by that therapy. So way to go. Kudos, Ariel.
Yeah, no, she did. It was great. Really great response. Really Really awesome. Great session. I think we're going to be able to switch back to the old, and probably most people are going to really like the new because they have the ability to switch back to the old, which feels comforting, but then they're going to really appreciate the new one, which you really like it.
I do. It's just because we are in layers and the chakras come out and the spectrums come out. It doesn't matter which way you look at it. Even if I put live blood cell, you see the, from the inner to the outside, it's the same thing reading live blood. If you looked at that, you'd see the clean part is right through the core essence and like the bowel. And then you would see, if you've ever seen dark field, you'll see that black stuff all around the side. That would be the heavy metals and contaminants and environmental stuff. So it's very similar actually to reading a drop of blood. So.
Oh, that's been really interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Was there anything else that you had about the case, just based on what you saw coming up, or anything just even about this? If we do a quick scan, anything that you note or seems interesting to you?
I think a lot of the stuff is you talked about the body ecology, and like Donna Gates, she used to be at the conferences David Wolf put on all the time in California every year. So, she's got some amazing stuff, but I think the whole thing is getting into, as it talks about, taking the inflammation down. And once we start taking and looking at the pH, the minute you become acidic, you're already in an inflammatory response. And as I said, anything below 7.4 is acidic to our systems, not what the litmus paper says. So in here, and I think it's interesting going into that whole, where you saw that yellow blocks again, that's the endocrine system, the pancreas, the transverse colon, the liver, the gallbladder, and getting that cleaned right up here. So I'm not surprised this needs to be cleaned up here a little bit, but you're seeing also with the contractility of the heart and stuff, and the ejection and what the heart would be doing. And that we would see with the secondary aura improvement. So I think that's really, really important, because whether it's mercury or any kind of toxicity, we need to get to the chelation or removal of what the blocks are. So whether it's an enema, it's a steam, it's a chelation, or a herb doing chelation, I think that's really important. So, and then the always thing is to check in with the client and ask Dawn, like, what is she feeling? I'm really big that, the client should be able, I'd say probably about 95% of my clients actually feel the therapy. So it's not that we're just doing, if they lie down quietly, especially horizontally, they should be able to feel something. So some people have their spidey senses and some people don't. So kind of interested in Dawn's response and go from there. And like I said, even seeing whether it's fibroids or something that may have been started, or even if they had a hysterectomy, there's something going on, you can see definitely in that the lower chakras there to get cleaned out.
That's absolutely awesome. What are sort of the top 3 things that you find that as you're meeting with people that you're doing with each and every client? Practically, say 90% of clients need to go through these 3 steps first before you can really make any progress.
It's got to be the shift to the pH. That's like from being negative to positive. That's the number 1 key thing. Hydration, which is really
go back to basics with people. Why is the shift in the pH so crucial?
The pH is basically the life force. That's how much power, how much hydrogen, how much energy, chi, power, whatever you want to call your soul, how far your soul is ascended. I like to do it that way. And actually, if you look at the correlation, like what Dr. Robert Young and I agree with, or, getting alkaline, that urine could go to close to purple, which is like, again, hitting your 7th chakra. Like that means everything's like an oil change cleaning out every day. And I think that's the key, is that if you don't get into that state of alkalinity, it's like going to a car wash, you wash the crap off. And it's the same thing, even with an enema, you take this crap out. And then once you get the water flowing or the energy, the chi, then you're in a state of going into a regenerative state, because most people are degenerating. They're getting worse every day. We should be able to hold those auras all the time there. And then the other thing would be, as I said, the hydration. Spring water is ultimate, but clean water as you can. And it's not about having alkaline water. It's about you being alkaline. I mean, I could be eating alkaline stuff or get to a state of alkalinity even through fasting. And I wouldn't need to take baking soda or something else. So I think that's the key. And then the hydration is really, that's how much power you're getting.
That's really cool that it's related to how much power that you have in like sort of your battery is not topped off correctly if you don't have the correct pH. So that's a really good way of putting it, and what kinds of things will strain the pH and make it go to that lower number, like 6 or 5? What kinds of things that people do will cause it to move in that direction?
Even going down to 7.2 to me is acidic, or 7, right? So in here, any kind of trauma, physical, mental, emotional. I know when I broke my knee, I didn't even register. Most of the clients I see right now, because of the excess of radiation,
Right.
that we're seeing, that is acidifying. It's just like looking at a chemo and radiation patient, right? We're all getting it now. So you might as well think in terms of radiation illness, that all of us have some form of it. So the key is that that's outside our control for the most part. So to get to that state of alkalinity, whether it's baking soda or pH drops in here, or looking at alkaline food charts, that's another one. Getting the right minerals. There are certain minerals. That's why everyone's so deficient in magnesium, certain things like that, because you're seeing the binding up with the acidifying chemicals, toxins, any of that, injection ingredients are all, anything pharmaceutical is acidifying. And this is what people forget, is it's all petroleum based. And when you look at it, even on a voltagen, it drains your energy. That's why there's a side effect. So technically all drugs, injected or otherwise, are over the counter or GMO'd. I mean, food that is Franken food or cloned and not a number 9 organic or wild foraged is already acidifying. And people need to be educated in that. So they're self-medicating themselves through pharmaceutical food, So I think that's the key to clean that up. So the food, the water, and then my favorite thing is just getting them on something like Soleil, getting all 94 minerals, like whether I use a combination of black, Celtic, North Atlantic, and actually Brittany, and even Himalayan salts. I'll put all those salts into, let's say a tablespoon of that salt, and put it into a glass jar and take out 94 minerals a day. And if not, using actually a big chunk of shaga will turn the water absolutely black, or putting shungite and shaga water. So I think that getting the hydration, so that things are going in there. And then that is actually probably my key things,
That's great. Those are pretty
education.
accessible to people too. Like most people could do that. Most people could tolerate that and could definitely achieve that. It's not like you're asking someone to do something that is so like completely over the top, over their head.
Well, the only reason people are ill is a lack, and you don't die from like all these toxins. What we die from is the lack of education. The education is paramount. And so until we do that, and that's where, you come in, the genius comes in. I can talk to myself. It's like, talk to me, baby.
What do you think about when you were growing up and we had the food pyramid in the United States? It's like, I feel like they got together and said, what is the most like toxic, construction of diet that we can put together, make sure that they get as sick as possible? What do you think happened there? Do you think it was intentional? Or
I know about that bad covenant those people took. It wasn't hard to figure that one out. But, it was like when I was talking with David Wolf, right? It's kind of like we went from like the Wonder Bread era to making raw foods, superfoods, sprouted stuff, and dehydrating.
What do you actually, but logistically, what do you know about it? Do you know, was it like this was like what the Nazis ate, or what?
Yeah, no,
where
it
did
was.
the food pyramid come from?
The food pyramid actually was developed by the deep state. So yes, I know where it came from, who put it in, and that people would actually be so uneducated. And this is where you get things like your wise women councils coming in, like from the mother to the whatever, passing it on. That's why you always had knowledge keepers, wisdom keepers, tribe keepers, the record keepers, whatever you want to call it, great keepers, grid keepers, stargates, whatever. We've lost so much of that information through assimilation into that. And, whether you got the standard American diet, we call it, the SAD, or the Canadian one up here, right? Again, it's contrary to nature. And if we go back to nature's, whether it's quantum law or the natural law, whatever you want to call it, it applies to the food, or the creator's law. Don't put anything between you and the creator. That's in other words, don't take genetically modified food and water. It's pretty simple. It's simple.
Let's see if Christina can speak with us. I'm not sure, Christina, if it's going to totally work. If not, I'm just going to skip the voice in the picture. So Christina, now your talking is open. Can you talk with us? Hello, can you hear me? Christina, can you hear me? All right, I'm actually just going to move forward.
You'd have to unmute. Yeah.
I did. It's okay. I know
You're
why
not,
this happens. Yeah. I knew there was going to be a logistical issue. It's not a big deal. So Christina, we're just going to move forward. We're going to work on you without your voice and picture, which is totally.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Are you there? Christina, it has to be quick like a bunny. Quick, 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 quick. How are you? Christina, can you hear me? Do you know Christina? She's in Canada. Christina,
Well, we have to get in contact up here. There's stuff coming down.
There. All right, I get it. Your connection is just a little. It's just a little unreliable, my dear. We do love you and do care about you, but if it's okay with you, I'm just going to go ahead and what we're going to do. What is going on with my mouse here? We're actually going to mute you here because it's sort of intermittent. What's going on there? And we're just going to work without the voice in the picture, which is perfectly fine. We can do a great scan on you without the voice in the picture. And don't worry, you'll get a great scan. So welcome everybody who's joining us. Welcome on YouTube. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, Karen, for joining us here. And is your connection all set up now? Or are you still hotspotting?
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, no, I'm actually okay. I'm solid. They got me the top thing that they possibly can. I'm not even on I got high speed. I don't even have dial up. I'm set. We're okay.
That is absolutely awesome. That's great. That's exciting.
Yeah. Thank you, Tammy, for that one.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
All right, we'll switch over to look at the genius and to look at the aura. We don't do too much about what's going on with Christina. She just volunteered for a scan, so we're totally not in the know at all, but we'll just call them as we see them. And let's go first to our aura. So we'll go to the aura and we'll scan the aura. We'll get Karen's perspective as well. See what we can learn and share with Christina in our final hour here during our US Thanksgiving live stream. All right. What do you think?
Wow. Okay, we got some what I would call digestive issues in there.
And then
a lot of that rest stuff. Yeah.
Sort of that almost like a bile green color.
Yeah, it is. It's right into that, the hepatic fluxure and all that. So I'd start looking into liver, gallbladder, and then there's going to be some small intestine and a lot of that stuff in the lower reproductive. Probably it looks like you'll get the leaky gut, especially into there, and that gets right into the female reproductive thing, and you can see it actually is leaching, so the energy is being drained out. So,
okay, let's look at that. Are you seeing the leaching is above here? Where are you seeing the leaching?
Below. I'm looking in here that it's being leached straight through. There's not a real vibrancy there. So I would, that's where you're going to start seeing things that say prolapsing and stuff like that, or a lower root chakra. Not very. Some people say it's not grounded, but whatever.
When you have a bladder prolapse or vaginal prolapse or whatever it might be, what is the cause from your perspective of the prolapse?
Most of it is, again, acidification and radiation. I'm seeing a lot of this in 20 and 30-year-old women. I'd say probably 50% of my clients actually have it. They don't like to talk about it, but you're seeing so many. I mean, I'm shocked to see 20 and 30-year-olds, right, that haven't had children. This is people that have even gone through what the trauma would go through, because we don't teach things. A lot of these women, we weren't binding up the women properly, for the first month or two, and myself included. And that's a failure in postpartum care, doulas and midwifery that aren't, putting that stuff back out, because we should be going through this stuff like steaming pearls and binding up. So you're seeing a whole combobulation of the whole entire organ system is shut off.
You're saying not even people who have the J, you're saying just a normal population.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been seeing it for years. It's been increasing and increasing here. That's why we're seeing not only that, but we're seeing a lot of increase in stillbirths and stuff like that too. And then
that we saw in the movie. If you go to Died Suddenly or stewpeters.com and watch that was shocking. The increase in stillbirths from one, you saw it increasing, but then you saw it go like this.
Oh, it's massive.
Weren't you even shocked at that? I know
No.
things are bad. No, you weren't
No.
shocked. Okay.
I wasn't shocked. I know what's going on. I actually was just on the stage in Penticton, as they think, in the Okanagan area. People think it's British Columbia, but with Dr. Mel Boucher. We actually had a medical doctor. He's retired. He's 80 years old. But these are the Dr. Det Negley's and all the Justice, Dr. Hoff, Dr. Malthouse. I've been out, I've met them all just about, and I've been out on stage with them now. But what happened is that we actually had him incarcerated in Vancouver. They put him in the psych unit and injected him because we had so many stillburns within 24 hours, some whistleblowers, and the RCMP put him in rather than, taking this in is what was going on. But
wait, slow down.
Yeah.
You're saying that the RCMP
Yeah.
incarcerated a physician
That's
for
right.
basically telling the truth.
Yes. So Dr. Mel Boucher was on with Sherry Strong, also on Children's Health Defense and stuff, but I was with them in Kelowna. And then once they found out, because I'd been in contact with him, once they found out who I was, well, they wanted me on tour with them. But so, I mean, I did do a few things in the background, or I'm in these things like, uninformed consent. Those are big ones that are being released up here. And that's by Vaccine Choice Canada and other people that I'm associated with and acquainted with. So that is very much, it's not a shock. And as a former neonatal nurse, we should, if we knew what we were doing, Ariel, we would be not even having neonatal units in pediatrics. We would be actually, now they're building maternal child centers because they're just depleting the life force of the children. They pre-planned this much in advance, like a lot of these children hospitals here in Jim Patterson stuff. So this was so pre-planned. I saw this coming a long time ago. When I first started nursing in 1984, doing pediatrics and then going into neonatal into 1987. And I was a union rep with 1,200 nurses underneath me for the Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. We should have been getting rid of these things. If you improved the healthcare and did your supposedly,
I mean,
prophylactically.
I mean, that was something that we had under control, and any type of death in childbirth was.
It's gotten worse. Not only that, the children, the inoculations. I started seeing women that took the J's injection, called whatever you want, genocidal, lethal. They're lethal injections.
Just because we're on YT and they might just shut us out.
Yeah, I'm not going to use the other ones,
but let's talk, like in pig Latin, like, injection A or whatever, like so stupid.
Vaccinations V.
Yeah, vaccinations V. Yeah.
I remember pig Latin. Yeah. Vaccinations V.
Vaccinations V. We'll have to do that. So you make
I think
fun
we're
of
the first one that started that. You and I could do that. We just did
it. But I just watched a video before the stream started where it was a Canadian doctor. I wish I could remember his name because I'm sure you know who he is. And he was almost crying. And he said, you probably heard me, that when you wanted to get an antibody reaction for polio, you would give 80 of the antigen in the vial. Yeah. And it's not 100, it's not 200, it's not 1,000, it's not 10,000, it's not 100,000, that there are 40,000 billion or 40 trillion SPs that are actually in that vial. That is totally insane.
Yeah.
Is that your understanding as well?
Oh, I think I overstand this one. But not only that, you're seeing that in the injections as well, the vaccinations V for the children, because what's allowable actually by standards and what you guys have even in US, and this is where we're going to see probably an assimilation coming in, I think, with the new vision of the earth, right? Once we all get this together on this continent. But what happens here is that even for EMFs or anything like that, these standards are 1,000 times above anywhere else almost on the planet. So it's not even just away from standard deviations. What's allowable in the States is 1,000-fold up here that they've made. And so, like I said, it's the same thing. People were gaining so much weight. They changed the weight standard for the planes, right? Because everyone was getting more and more overweight and toxic. So we see it right across, whether it's in medicine or whatever. I mean, it's absolutely insanity.
Did this at all start after World War II, or was it actually even earlier than that? What would you say was the inception point where it's like, we're just going to destroy them, but we're going to do it just like a drop at a time?
These go back, and it depends how far you know about Enki and the NINRSAG, but it goes back to galactic treaties and who came in here. What I would call Star Nations treaties that were peace accords. Like now they're trying to do the Artemis Accord. That's actually out there right now. They're actually even putting it all across. I'm like, wow, this is cool. But you know, what we're
But
seeing
when we
is
would have noticed it, right? I mean, we started.
oh, they
noticing
noticed it. It's
I
very
mean,
well
would you-
documented. It's on the
But I mean,
pyramids.
even think about it in the 1900s. Okay, 1900, like especially, okay, 1900 to 1925 or so, you had naturopathic schools, homeopathic schools, and you had women in them, and they were doing all types of nature cure. They were doing all types of hydrotherapy. They were doing alkaline broths. They were doing like electrical types of things. If you've ever seen the movie about Kellogg, Dr. Kellogg, you know, he had that sanatorium and everything, but people would go to places like that to get nature cure. So right around the time of, I think the rise of Carnegie and maybe JP Morgan, that they paid for this report called the Flexner Report. And in the Flexner Report, they basically said, all these schools are scientific, allopathic schools, and all these naturopaths and homeopaths are quacks. We're going to shut down all of these, and that paved the way for the rise of the allopathic medical school and the rise of better living through chemistry. So I sort of see that point as being the very deliberate point where they started to change all the food and cereals, and you know, I see that as being sort of like the beginning place in the modern time. I mean, is that what's your take?
If you go back, and I'll go her story, I know what his story is already, but like even, you know, to Atlantis and all this, and we saw the mud flood city. So really, to me, that was the bigger point where you saw that the women were actually in there, and it's after that whole the arc, you know, what we did. But once you start getting into, as you talked about, from the 1900s.
Oh, like when we talked about smallpox the other day.
Yeah, that's where they started really going wild on that. And then they started, you know, experimenting on the women, you know, really back into the early inception before, when you had slavery and stuff like that. Not that it's that different now, but that was actually the father of gynecology, by the way. That's when they first started destroying the women on this continent. And they did it. I could talk about the whole thing, how you get into yoni steams, vaginal steams, and they lost everything and started doing basically not only just cesareans, but disembowelments on the women in the States. And that was only in the 1800s and 1900s. And even
so, but wait a second. So there's like this like incremental acceleration. So let's just say there was like okay, now you're gonna have all your pharmaceuticals, and there's synthetic vitamins, and now there's TV dinners, and there's processed foods, and
residential schools.
Pardon me?
Schooling.
Indoctrination. Oh yeah, okay. So the changing the school, so it's like all like groomers and indoctrination, and you have to sit in your seat, and you're learning to be like a laborer, you know. And of course, in the 1930s, that's when you had to get your birth certificate, and you got your social security number, and now you're going to be paying the debt of the United States. I don't know, was that brought in by Roosevelt or Woodrow Wilson?
1913 was when they started doing that with the Federal Reserve Act.
So that was, I think, Wilson.
That was Woodrow Wilson. And then you started getting into 1933, where you get the birth certificate, but worse than that, in the 1950s is where you get the Granada Treaty with President Eisenhower. And that's where they actually indemnified people for experimentation with other groups. And I'll just call them
what I understand is in the 1930s, when we found out we were bankrupt, that the people became they were going to be the ones who are the chattel that are going to, hey, so you're going to be sold in this way for your, whatever your duration of your labor is somehow going to be gleaned in a taxation way to pay for the debt. But what is that about the experimental piece? That sounds very important.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been experimenting on women. I'd go, you know, even as you can
go. But what was the agreement in the 50s? Tell us about Eisenhower specifically.
Well, President Eisenhower, with what they call the Majestic 12, went into, and this is known, this is a secret.
Yeah, I want to look it up. Yeah, that's awesome.
You want to look that up? Okay, so you can go to Judge Alfred Weber, talks a lot about it in Exopolitics, but Dr. Michael Salla is probably putting out the most amount of information on his exopolitics, but Salla is Salla. So the Granada Treaty.
What was the Granada Treaty? Why
the
did it allow
Treaty basically? Okay, so and his great-granddaughter is Laura Eisenhower, so she's out a lot on the circuits.
A lot of people are familiar with her. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason we're going in that, there's some debates, no one really knows, but what they're saying is that he was sideswiped by the Majestic 12, i.e. the Illuminati, and under bad advice. But what he did, it's actually his signature that's on those. And again, they're not treaties. I don't know why they use the word treaty because I just went through a whole thing up here. I just did a whole law dissertation on it. But they were illegal contracts because he wasn't a clan mother to make a treaty. So what these guys did is they made, and he's O negative, by the way, they are not from an original indigenous bloodline. So it's all about the bloodlines. And so those groups started making, like, I call them like pirate contracts. So they started making pirate contracts. And actually I had spent a whole day in supper with the former Minister of Defense, Paul Hellyer here, which is the Minister of Defense for Canada. And they openly admit, because I watched all 2 weeks of the Serious Disclosure Project for the States, and friends of mine like Dan Willis and other people and Dr. Stephen Greer and lots of people were in it. But what happened is that they basically made agreements to sell and give over women, children, and men for experimental, a couple thousand people, 2 different things called the Reptilian, Draco, Orions, and other different groups. So basically, that was the first beginning of official slave trade by the actual governments per se. And so that was a pivotal moment. And that is documented by all the governments on the Grenada Treaty.
Well, I want to look that up.
Let's get into Sela, but yeah, it's cool. It's once you get into that. But now we're trying to say that none of those are lawful and they didn't have any clan mothers that authorized them. There's no proclamation and therefore they're all wrong.
That's good work of Alfred Weber. Tell people where to find more about Alfred Weber and watch some of the videos that you've done with him.
Oh, I did watch News Inside Out is a primary one. And I'll just tell you that actually the space program time traveled his book, Exopolitics. I actually got a copy of it. And when I went out to meet him in 2009 or something, 2010. And when he wrote it in the, thing, it was 20 years that they time traveled his book back to him. So Trump was involved in Marsgate and time travel and looking glass technology. So it's very cool. So News Inside Out. And then we do stuff for peaceandspace.org. I'm part of an advisor to the International Galactic Council Courts. So
fantastic. On a more mundane level, switching back to our client here, Tammy in the chat has asked, what's the best time of day to check your pH with the urine stream?
Okay, if you go in and you make sure you get the 5.5 to 8 litmus paper, not 0 to 14 or other site, and make sure it's the one for the urine and saliva. So if you'd like to do it, I prefer to do first thing in the morning, midstream. So, and then you can get into a whole thing if you want to learn about actually urine therapy or urotherapy. That's another thing that you can look at, but that is an amazing time to get it. And most people don't correlate. Your chakras almost correlate, Ariel, to the actual litmus paper color. And really? I remember, I was on Dr. Charlie Ward's show, and Nicholas Vienneman's right. And one of the things sent this video about explaining about the colors and the chakras and stuff to Cindy at suedehills.com. They said, you got to hear this woman. She's got the stuff on pH like we've never heard. And she's the one that does all our pH alkalis and stuff. But take a look at it. I'm serious. Like when you think about it, if you hit the 8, it's like the 8th chakra.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
That's really cool.
Well, you want to stay in 3D at yellow, that's, and 4D is kind of green and 5D is kind of bluish. And then, 7D and 8D is getting into those other colors. It's not that far off.
Fascinating. That's really cool though. That's awesome. Well, let's look at some of the things that come up for her. What do you think about this new general overview scan that's part of the Genius program now?
I actually like it. I know that because I can remove it or come back or play with it. But what I'm seeing a huge change here that I've never seen before. And I'm getting 4 or 5 pages up here of everyone seems to have aspergillus and unknown funguses everywhere. And I'm not surprised with the parasite.
So I wonder, is it the time of year when it's more damp? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of stuff we got that's actually being contagious and it's either coming in through some sort of a vector sepsis. I've seen it now for almost 2 months on almost every client I've done out here. So I've been monitoring it as not just, I would say local, because I do, international. I mean, I'm all over the planet doing, sessions and consults and stuff. So, or brought in as a third party. So a lot of times other therapists bring me in as a third party consult into their sessions. But the one thing that grabbed me just when we were looking at it that came up for remedies was Juva Cleanse. And Juva Cleanse is a really huge combination of 3 essential oils of ledum, celery seed, and helichrysum. And the reason why when I looked at that is that's for heavy metals. So even if you're taking something like that, JuvaCleanse can be taken orally in capsules. And we used to see them peeing out mercury within 24 hours in heavy metal detox. So that's another thing I would add on to a detox program for whatever kind of weird injections or swab things got into. So
that's good.
It's powerful. It's very, very powerful. I don't know if you guys have ever done it. I did it, and it's almost the same reaction you get like chlorine dioxide or MMS or water purification drops. So very, very powerful is JuvaCleanse. Clove oil is one of my number ones, but JuvaCleanse would be another for, remember, all your oils were designed to chelate out, you know, and if you want to have a really great example of that, take a styrofoam plate or cup and put 3-4 drops of lemon essential oil, and it'll eat and chelate it out within 10 minutes. So that's one of your best things for cleaning water right now.
And I know we have our resource list, and we'll tell everybody again a week from today on the Rumble channel. We'll make sure we have that list available. But for right now, what's your favorite website for people who maybe don't want to pay the price for, or are not able to pay the price today for Young Living oils? What's your other go-to for oils?
I quite frankly, I mean, I'm trained in it, and I was on the same committees with him, but I don't think you have to pay 5 times the price. I'm also an aromatherapist through Care with Dr. David Stewart. So, you know, I like using up here, and he goes internationally, is Nevessence. And especially if you're a therapist, you don't pay retail pricing. So he's excellent. Eden's Gardens was another one. We had New Directions, Voyeur up here. We've got a lot of different suppliers. And actually, you can just Google therapeutic bulk essential oils, and whatever area you're in, and I can even find them on Amazon. I mean, if I want, you know, we had one like Korea, and I phoned the supplier because a lot of times they'll say they were pure, 100% pure, 100% natural, but they're not therapeutic. So there's like 4 grades of oils, and what I want is a therapeutic grade 1. Organic is 2, pure and natural are 3 and 4, and then there's GMO. So as long as I
easy to find what's the Nevessence website? It's not very easy to find.
NEV.
NEV.
Yeah, NEV. It's out of Banff, and I like the oils there because you know what? They get regenerated. I don't know if you know, but once they hit through irradiation through borders and coming and flying and stuff, because everything's going overseas now, I try and get local ones. So for example, rather than frankincense and myrrh, I'd rather have cedar wood. And I use pine essential oil, spruce essential oil.
You want to use things that are from your local environment.
More so if you can. Actually, all the blue spruce, one of the highest frequencies on this entire planet, is the spruce, even from Young Living, is harvested north of me, about 12 hours.
Okay,
so
awesome.
Yeah. So if you can get the tree stuff and pine, everyone's big on pine right now. They've got a nice pine essential oil, and I have him actually researching and doing stuff. So I actually collaborate with them, and we've done blending together. So I have one called Radiate and Renew, and I have another pineal one that we have for decalcification, but these are things you got to phone on or ask them. So that's where you got to know your food. And liquid food is what oils are. Remember, it's 1 drop of peppermint is like 26 cups of peppermint tea. So I would take an oil any day over a herb, always. Yeah. So I think that was cool. I just happened to notice that JuvaCleanse. I'm just like, whoa, she needs to be cleansed out.
Yeah, you need JuvaCleanse. Christina, you need JuvaCleanse. And then we have another one that says, I break through all the obstacles that have kept me from losing weight. I will allow space for optimal flow and circulation, something in the facial muscle, alpha lipoic acid, that could be for blood sugar. We've got some photophobia solutions here. The emotion of rejection, feeling the emotion of rejection, kidneys optimize, testosterone balance, or for postmenopausal women, it could be low testosterone, lymphatic vessels, neurotoxin as a result of stuck viruses now clear the liver. What would you say is the main cause of people having chronic viruses, even like Epstein-Barr, in their body?
Well, again, it's the acidity, it's the leaky gut, it's the compost, and you're actually rotting inside. So again, virus is a Latin word that means poison. That's why we know you can't isolate a virus, because you know what the word means. Just like Dr. Robert Young says,
it's like excess,
it's a response.
Excess poisons.
It's a response to the environmental, whatever the stimuli is. You're going into a side effect, or you're, in simple terms, it's an allergy sensitivity or an anaphylactic shock to something. So we identify what the root cause is. And that's why it's very, very important to do that. So when you start seeing liver and you start seeing like, especially a lot of women with the leaky gut and the bacteria building up in the small intestine, we're all getting that little 10, extra pound, that little pouch, which I'm seeing is just exacerbating on a lot of people. So I think that's really, really important about that. And one of the things too, someone just asked me about the Now oils. Now has got actually an organic version and they've got a pure version, and there's a big difference between those two grades. So I prefer not using them, either one.
Yeah, I
of
would
them.
rather find a local company, just like you're
Mhm.
recommending, that's a small company that
Yeah.
maybe manufactures the oils. Any of the Now products, like, yeah, they're convenient, but they're probably not going to be that high quality because of their mass production. And we don't know where they get their ingredients from. So
Yeah.
you
and
found like Nevessence, like you researched to find them as a trusted source, right?
Oh, I hang out with them. I mean, I've
Oh, okay.
collaborated with them.
Yeah.
So we were like, I mean, going back 15 years ago, we were all on the Western Canadian Body, Soul, Spirit Expos, the Cirque du Soleil of healers, right? So I've known Tony Nevis for a long time. And again, the oils in Banff are very different than it would be, for example, in Drumheller, because what happens is that, I don't know if you know about the sacredness of around Banff, and there's portals and doorways and stuff and all sorts of things, but it's one of the most sacred sites on the
So
planet.
Banff is like on the west side above Vancouver. Where is
No,
it?
Banff would be around Calgary.
Oh, it is.
No,
Okay.
it's
so
right
no.
in the Rocky Mountains. It's actually between
Okay.
me and Calgary.
Okay.
That's where actually the top spring waters are. That's why we met at the bottom of the foothill. So it's at the bottom of the road, just getting into there. So Banff, Jasper, and that type of thing. Now, what happens in those areas is that the areas are so minerals rich. It's like going into a lot of our mountains here are made out of crystal, silver, gold, all your rare earth minerals are up
That's
here.
amazing. So,
That's
but
why they mine here.
that's where his oils are coming
Yeah.
from. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you can imagine, it's probably one of the top Faraday cages on the planet. So as they get irradiated, they get actually rehealed and regenerated.
That's
from an
pretty
electrical.
cool. That's
Yeah, the
actually
piece of
really cool.
electricity there, it's like putting your oils inside a crystal organ. Like,
Yeah, that's amazing.
that's
That's
what
really
that
cool.
place is. So yeah, a little different there. And like a lot of people, like, when they talk about nature's thing or stuff at a Drumheller, I'm aware of a lot of them. The thing is, anyone can get them off a supplier. My other one I just went to see was Isis in Nelson, because they've got things like cacao oil and,
You have what kind of oil?
chocolate, like cacao
Oh,
essential
cacao
oil.
oil. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
chocolate. So raw cacao, absolute. And then what Tony also can get me is what's called, because I'm an aromatherapist and we keep interesting stashes. We have like oak moss, thing in there. We have atars, rare earth magnolias and stuff, and amber atars from India. So, and
Oh, that's
some beautiful-
amazing.
and then like lime oil and stuff. So he just put a new one out that is actually with Blue Lotus. So he's got actually the pink and the blue lotuses. So if you want something very rare, I would go to Nevessence and ask for those things, because it's not always on the thing, but phone him directly. Or if you're a therapist, because all of us are technically therapists, right? Is call Tony and ask to get, a list from him. Okay.
Yeah. So we're all therapists. Yeah,
You and
that's
I
really
all
good.
qualify. All of us here are now therapists, right? So you guys all qualify for therapist stuff instead of
Yeah,
retail.
you should tell them when you call them and
Hint,
talk to them.
I talked to Karen.
Yeah. So it says here, can you please repeat the essential oils that you have to call and ask for?
I think you put them in here right now. Like I said, you can go, there's some lotuses and stuff like that. Radiate and Renew is another one. Pineal decalcifier. Talk to him. We do all sorts of stuff. He helped me formulate one for radiation for EMF, 5G, 6G, and Wi-Fi. Because
Wow, that's cool. What
seed.
oils did you end up putting in there?
Oh, we got carrot seed oil is in there, and some lavender and helichrysum, and we have a special blend. And you know what he does as well? Let's say, because we have the recipes for actually, and you can look it up, if you want to make your own valor or peace and calming. Sometimes I just say, can you make it up? Because I'm in too much of a hurry. Like, I'm unpacking that whole wall back in here, hard to see, but the whole wall behind that mirror is all filled with shelves of essential oils coming out. There's probably about 500 oils in there right now. That's why I'm unpacking right now. I'm trying to figure out what I got. So in here, my herbs are in one section, but the oils are in there, and they go in the kitchen, they go in the bathroom, because they take them internally, externally, and for cleaning.
Yeah, that's
So,
fantastic. No, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
so that would be like one of the things we're looking here. And, as you did the resort there again on the progressive insights, right? take a look at what keeps coming back up, the Juva cleanse again. So again, that's really juicy for heavy metals. And that's why I suggested in there, I put in the text, I don't care if it's Young Living. It doesn't matter what it is, but still one of the best books I've ever seen for teaching is the 8th edition of the Essential Oil Desk
So
Rattler.
even if you're not using necessarily their oils, that's still
I don't
really,
use
really good.
I have some, but you know what? I make my own too here, but it doesn't matter. It's got all the singles, it's got his blends, it's got the recipes, it's got colon hydrotherapy in there. It has all sorts of detoxes, master cleanser, Stanley Burroughs, horses, animals, pets, and then every disease from A to Z. It's got all your charts, your pH charts are in there, your food alkalinity charts are in there, your oils by Hertz are in there. And then if you've got A to Z, whatever, cancer to blah, 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 there is a recipe for that. And they show you here, you can take 3 drops of this and 3 drops of this, and you can take it orally in a capsule or however. So the way to deliver stuff, I've never seen one better than this. So I don't care which herbs, and it's got stuff on herbs. So let's say if you wanted something to do with cardiovascular and you had a heart issue, it can say cardiozyme. Well, what's in cardiozyme? Hawthorn, you know.
That's amazing. That's really cool. No, that's a great download.
Yeah,
About the oils. There was one more question here, which is, do you know about naturesessentialgarden.com? And they are out of Drumheller,
Alberta. That's why I just covered that. It's not so much about the companies. It's about what you are and getting them. I don't care about all these companies because I can go direct to them. And so can you guys now as a therapist in here. And you can't, and Jen's going, I'm going to go to Bath. And then you have to stop at Canmore and get your spring water. But you got to talk to him ahead of time. It's not a storefront. Okay. The storefront for him is called, there's a very famous thing up here called Rocky Mountain Soaps. And he was the blender behind it secretly. Okay. So you don't see his stuff out. He's choosy who he wants to go into. So make sure you call him first and give him a couple days to put it ahead of time. So I think that's really important. Like he's, like I said, it's a small thing, but he's like my best kept secret up here. I go in there to see what's in the stash to make sure what happens. And if I've got oils up here or you've got them down there, so as I said, it's not so much about, there's lots of suppliers up here. That's not an issue, but yes, you can take multiple oils, just like you can take herb blends. So I think getting that textbook is really important. And then you'll see the basis. There's a whole section in the emotional part of it, Ariel, which was Carolyn Mean. So all the Carolyn Mean stuff is in. There's a whole section on mental, emotional, and if you're upset and how to do it. And this is the only way, and that's why I do the oils. I imprint oils and thing. And I put crystals and I put bracelets on, I put their glasses on. I do that stuff too. We're talking about imprinting.
Yeah.
But what goes internally? Oils and water.
Yeah.
Or your herb or your yoni pearl or your tea dental thing. Whatever.
Everything around you is so healing. You just have multiple resources that are not that expensive that everybody can avail themselves to. Nancy says, can you take multiple oils if you have multiple issues?
Yeah. Someone's laughing about, those oils and stuff here. And lucky to live in Alberta. No, actually, that's not. I could tell you a whole bunch of stuff. So don't buy the mainstream medium. I could give you a whole bunch of stuff on really what the operations are about putting these people in as new premiers, right? These people are not there to do you any things here. Let me tell you, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And again, I know lots of stuff that's not put out in the public, but I can certainly send you the information and you can make your own choices. So they're playing a lot of stuff up here as you're getting like, the division with the we'll just say the voting and dominion system that they're trying to change down there. So we have the same issues up here. So a lot of people just don't get that. They just assume that things are going to happen, right? So they're getting ready to clamp down again here. That's for sure.
Tell us about what do you think? What are they gonna do?
Actually, I'm quite well, like I said, when I was actually on stage at Penticton with Dr. Mel Boucher and other people in the Okanagan freedom groups and everyone else, I was with them. And I actually was with the Canadian military. So they actually filmed me and I had Alex Jones in the chat room. So there's a lot of stuff that, again, I was like, look who's here. And I'm like, Alex J. I'm like Jones? InfoWars? And he goes, yeah, they're listening to you.
Why, since you know about Alex Jones, why did they do that to him about the $1 trillion
Millions.
and everything?
Yeah, millions and trillions and billions and whatever.
And obviously it's so, I
Ops.
mean, my take on it is that thing that he got accused of doing was actually true. And since he knew about it and since he told everybody, then he had to be extremely punished. And I don't know why I get Hillary C for some reason is in the mix of all of that. What's your take?
I don't know, because I'm not really involved, but I mean, I got the same thing like you, and at this point, it's like pirates. They're all ratting out each other right now, quite frankly. And
does he work for the Assad?
I don't know. We all know those rumors, and we know who his wife is and whatever, but people are flipping over, and there's a lot of stuff. Is it, this spy, too many spies, second, third, how many times,
okay, so he is
double agent, triple agent, quadruple. I don't even care anymore.
Okay, so he probably is. So
knows?
was the thing he was accused of doing, did he actually blurt out something true about that situation, or was it a lie?
I think a lot of the stuff they leak out, it's controlled, whatever I say, it's controlled media release or controlled opposition, however you want to look at it. It's still getting disclosure out. And
but most of the things, like they say that people are getting, almost all of those are false flags, right? They're not real.
Well, it's not that a false flag is different. It's there is an issue. It's just it's controlled, right? To me, it's a controlled thing.
What is it called? Then it's called like actors, or what is it? It's
bad actors or whatever. So we'll laugh at it. But a false flag is still, it's pre-planned. It's not that there's not people that drop, because they do, but it's what's the bigger issue, and then you'll still have the controlled part. And just something for fun, like even right now, just it's going to affect here, but like Derek Johnson and a few people on Telegram have been really out. And actually, I just got one today. I'll talk about BC and the United Nations taking over BC and Canada right now and all this. So I was just actually looking at that. But, in here, they're talking about Title 10, Title this, US this, House Joint this, Executive Order this. Guys, that doesn't matter. That's still going back like to the thing that Eisenhower did. Those are not treaties. Those are legal policies, acts. And again, orders and acts are not that. So whether he's the commander in chief or whatever, they're still not the original people. They're people that come in outside contractors. Even Trump and the military, they're outside contractors. They're private agencies and corporations. And we have to remember, it's like Coke and Pepsi. So now we have all these companies fighting at each other. And when you go into something, if you really wanted to go down the rabbit hole, it's acio.org. And then you'll actually see who the real hidden shadow governments are. And you'll see the monarchy is a group of bloodlines like Shaw is, or other things like that go back 4,000 to 6,000 years old. So that's when you start talking about the Acts of Nations V. That goes back 4,000 to 6,000 years from that one company. But
that's amazing. I mean, that's crazy to think about that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If we go back and do her story, right? That's why I like to deal with some of this stuff that's going on, because guess what? You go back to the original order and who did it, and then you'll find out that they're still illegal and unlawful. So there's a big difference there. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting when you brought that, kind of stuff up. It's just, what do you do? I really don't, I know nothing, because it wasn't there as a witness. Right. So everything to me is hearsay, but I'm really great at legal research, and now I just leave it alone. So if they're not in front of my place and they're not my friends coming, or it's not someone I have to deal with, it doesn't matter to me. It's outside of our hands, right? And we all have to maintain our vibration and frequency. And that's why I'm saying, it's about sharing right now, like get the oils going. And just like, we're doing this session for these, on there, you're taking a look at and seeing what can we do, and I'm always excited to see, what are you feeling? Are you getting that cardio thing? I see so much in there, and the pineal gland stimulation at 20 hertz and stuff, right? That's why I said, hey, you might want to try this pineal gland decalcifier that just got made up, because it's juicy. There's sandalwood in it. And he's got a very rare sandalwood, so things like that we can kind of add to people's cleansing and fun stuff, and Roman chamomile. I mean, that's a beautiful essential oil. And these things are so inexpensive compared to herbs, and these companies out there trying to, lay claim to, they got the, thing to reverse everything, because they don't. But in here, I think this is it. And then the bladder, I'm seeing a lot of too, like a lot of us, like incontinence right now. So not just prolapse. I have so many people with incontinence, like letting go. So I thought that was a great thing we did the other day with our demo that we did. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, let you go. I'm going to wind up here in the next 5 to 10 minutes, but I'm really glad that you were able to spontaneously drop in and give us some really good downloads. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. A couple more people just called me. They said, guess what? On Facebook, we got this package. We got the Elite. We got some stuff here. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. So I wanted to thank those people that have been watching some of the shows out there. And remember, we're just bringing everyone in as a great community. So I look forward to this. And we have our show, 5 to 8 in 2 weeks, is it?
Yeah, 1 week from today.
Yeah, 1 week from today. Yeah. Okay, so we will see you then.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Awesome. Fantastic. I'm really glad that she's in her new place. It sounds really, really like a fantastic place. She's back in a really good place. I like to watch your brother, Andreas Moreno. I know about the Genius Biofeedback. Yeah, Andreas is, I think, more of like a soul brother than an actual brother of Karen, but that's good that you mentioned him. I forget his show. It's called something like The Spaceship or something like that. Are all libraries included in the Master Elite Plus? Yeah, if you got the Master Elite Plus, that's all the libraries that we have. So just look them up under libraries in alphabetical order. Tammy, you probably already have the ones that you're looking for. Oh, Tales of the Ship. Yeah, Tales of the Ship. He's an interesting guy, Andres. Should I take essential oils at the same time or separately? Maybe separately, because you don't want to overwhelm your system, but a lot of people combine essential oils and they take them together. I would get a book, some type of a handbook on essential oils, Nancy, so you can learn more and really feel that you're in the know. So I just wanted to mention what we were seeing on Christina's scan, because we didn't really get to talk about it too much. And then we're just going to kind of wrap up for the day, and really appreciate each and every one of you being part of our live stream, watching on YouTube. Please, if you are watching our summit, our event of the year, you can actually find it on the website at geniusbiofeedback.com. Now, we are having a big sale on libraries. We're going to do something we've never done before, and we're actually going to make all the libraries available for 40% off. So you can actually get that right now. Just use BF40 at checkout. So you get early access to our Black Friday special, BF40 at checkout, 40% off. Get it while the getting's good before they go back to the regular pricing. That's just a great deal we want to offer to the community. On the website, if you go to Learn and you drop down from Learn and you go to our blog, you'll see everything from our summit. So everything from basically our event of the year. So you can see all the talks. If you missed day 1, day 2, or day 3, please check them out on here where you can get access to them. And that will be very, very convenient for you to be able to watch them, because a lot of our practitioners, including Karen, gave great tips and information during the time that she spent with us. So I just want to look at our dear Christina. The first thing that came up, we mentioned some of them. Let's just mention some of the ones in blue that we didn't get a chance to look at, because I just wanted to comment about it. Urinary bladder, calcium aspartate for the bones, adrenals optimized. Let's see, a flower essence about being more playful, carefree, and joyful. Legacy on the connector point for the emotional clearing of toxicity. Cardio ND for the heart. Surprise as an emotion. Tubulin molecules. Something in the foot marma. Structure. Vitamin B6. Wow, it's really kind of all over the place. It's amazing. Abundance, long walks can help with adrenal fatigue, dehydration of the disc. I did see a lot with the neck. So I saw a lot with your neck, and I'm wondering if you're having headaches or any issues like that. A lot of structural issues, a lot of muscular issues I saw. Let's just do one more rescan here and see what we see before we sort of tie everything up with a bow. And it says, breaking patterns, breathing patterns. Breathing patterns is contributing to root cause. I am content and blessed. This is a good affirmation for you. Germanium. So there's geranium and germanium. This one sounds like it's a flower essence. Thoracic 1, all of the valves of the heart are functioning perfectly. My adrenal glands are supporting proper functioning of my immune system. the right hip joint. So there might be something going on with the hips. Exposure to EMFs is contributing to root cause. Be careful of your screen time and be sure to turn your Wi-Fi off at night. Bladder, release the fear of letting go. Something about the thyroid. Detox the EMFs. Constraint. My heart is beating in perfect rhythm. Temporomandibular joint. Lymphatic vessels. Cardio ND. So there's a lot of stuff about heart, about structure, about releasing some weight easily, and about some blood sugar. So those are the things that I'm seeing. We're going to do one more minute here, and then we're going to check the aura, the final aura. I'd want to get your feedback. Maybe you can send me something, Ariel at geniusbiofeedback.com. If you think that the aura, the developer put through an update that allows you to switch back to the old aura. But I don't think that that's the same aura function that it was before. So I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you'll send me something. Is anybody hearing kid sounds in this? I keep hearing, I think I'm going crazy. Kid sounds. I can't figure out if it's outside of my house or I think it's something on the sound. It must be one of the sounds, like the I think, you know what it is? It's not a kid. I think it's part of the nature sounds. Let's just go ahead and look at the frequency, shape, and form. Yeah, it's the animal sounds. It's not a kid at all. I'm going nuts hearing that, like it's the background, like kids in the background or something. Let's just switch to chimes and bells and turn that off, and let's hear the difference. Going bananas there, thinking it's just me. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So there was the animal sounds and the chimes and the bells sounding together. But send me a message if you think that aura function isn't quite the aura function that it was before. I'd love to get your feedback and learn more about that. In just about a minute, we're going to check the aura function. I'll take any final questions or comments that you guys have. The High Vibe Nutritional Series includes one library called High Vibe Nutrition. So it does, but really the important thing about High Vibe Nutrition is for the course itself. It's a life-changing, life-saving course. When you watch this course, you'll have a lot more conviction about why a mostly, and it can be just mostly plant-based diet. If you did plant-based for 5 days a week and you had to keep your meat for 2 days, that would be a huge improvement. I explain why this is going to be the best type of food plan to keep you healthy, to keep your circulation healthy, to keep your immune system. And I go through all the scientific papers that show that in High Vibe Nutrition. It's really about getting on a healthy plant-based diet that's delicious, because a plant-based diet is delicious. It's like really about eating potatoes and sweet potatoes and pasta and rice, and all those things can be good if they don't have a lot of fats in them, if you're not putting sour cream and dairy products and things like that. Actually, eating those foods is very low on the caloric density, and you can lose weight and feel really good. There's a story on YouTube of a guy who ate only potatoes for a year, and he lost like 100 pounds only eating potatoes. He ate potatoes, sweet potatoes, but nothing else for a year. He never got tired of it because potatoes are delicious and they have almost all of the nutrition that you need. There are only a few vitamin C and a few other vitamins that you need to add to the mix. Why can't we close this tray here? And we want to get a final aura here. So check out on YouTube and just put into the search like guy who ate potatoes for a year, and you'll see all of his videos. And there are other stories about people who just ate potatoes. But the point is, it's mostly a carbohydrate diet, 80-10-10, 80% carbohydrate, 10% protein, and 10% fat. Because I think that the biggest thing that these companies wanted to sell you was on the idea that you needed all this protein every day, you need all of this fat. Well, it's really, really awesome. It sells all of their highest priced products, and you have to have them again and again and again. Makes them a lot of money, and it makes you really sick. All right. So I think let's just compare these auras here. I think we're getting used to these auras. So this one had a lot of digestive stuff that needed to be cleared up. And we see that clearing happening here. This looks a lot healthier. This looks a lot clearer. This looks like a lot more vitality. And I think we're only in mid-stage here. But Christina, I hope you drink some water. You'll get some wonderful benefit of the frequencies that we ran for you. Okay. And so Tammy, thank you so much for your encouragement, and thank you for being part of our Genius community. It's lovely to have you as part of our community. And Karen put a note in there. Oh, my voice is just about to give out. about Kara and Marcus. You can look up their take. My take is a little bit different about vegan food. I'm going to be doing more classes in 2023, really about the right diet, the right lifestyle, the right way to improve your immune system. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into those health classes with you. That'll definitely be coming up. We're going to have a new process club coming up. So be on the lookout for that, where we're going to get together and you can ask any condition. Somebody the other day asked about a pilonidal cyst. Somebody asked about, uterine fibroids. We're going to be able to go through that process and show you how to do that with the Genius. So I really look forward to that as well. I hope now you go and have a very delicious Thanksgiving meal, whatever it might be. Of course, I would choose not to have turkey, but anybody, whatever you do, it's perfect. It's you. Enjoy the time with your friends, with your family. Please remember that we're having a lot of Black Friday specials. Check your email. Right now, you can go to checkout and you can use BF40 for 40% off on any library that you want out of all of them. But we are going to have discounts on courses, on remedy plates, on practitioner. We're having practitioner specials. So look for that Black Friday email coming your way, telling you all about the promotions that will be available very, very soon. Thank you, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye for now.